check. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? I want to thank y'all for joining me tonight on Moorish World TV. Let me get it on over here. Check 1 2. Can y'all hear me? How do I sound? Check 1 2. Can y'all hear me? I don't make me do like Umar Johnson, say it a whole bunch of times now. You know what I mean? Check one. Make me do like Umar. Just keep on saying that demonstration. I'm still a little bit under the weather. You know what I mean? I sound all right. Kenyatta, I sound all right. Family, M. Nugent, I sound all right. I'm still a little bit under weather, but it don't stop. It ain't gonna stop this. So family, what I want to do is let me give y'all a bit of backdrop of what's going on here. So what's going on here is this. Normally I save my Moorish content for my other channel, Moorish World TV 7. And I try to keep it over there for the simple fact that I try to separate content. So I deal with over here, we deal with the universal grifting. And on Moorish World TV, we deal with Moorish Science teaching and Moorish Science grifters. You know what I'm saying? So I do that on purpose. But today, I am compelled to bring this one to the big stage. Recently, I did a lecture called basically it's a succession of lectures that I do called The Hijacking of a Nation. And in this lecture called Hijacking of the Nation, I talk about the foundation of the Moorish Science Temple of America, how it came about, and how it was infiltrated. A lot of times when people see me talking about infiltration, a lot of people taking it. Thank you so much, Kenyatta. Kenyatta said great lecture. And it was 4.5 hours long. And if anybody want to get it, all you have to do is Cash App. It is a $20 lecture, but it comes with over almost 200 slides. In other words, this is a book of slides of history and research that is yours. So I remember when I first started doing lectures, like on this level, and I wanted to raise money for certain things, what I would do is I was like, I just don't want to talk and walk away like the elders used to do. I wanted to flip it a little bit. And so it'll be an even exchange, I would think. So I decided that with any lecture that I do, I will also have the slides so people can use for references and history and whatever. And I think I'm telling you, it's a book. You have to say the material is worth much more. Yeah, it's a book. It's a book of material, and you got to wrap your mind around it. But anyway, with this lecture, I'm talking about a group of Moors that's actually still here today. And at the end of the day, the lesson is just because we don't recognize the infiltration, that doesn't mean that it's not happening. Now, I do want to give a caveat to this. There's a lot of people who are a part of this organization that I'm about to talk about that are genuinely seeking salvation, liberation, freedom, peace, etc. Many of those families, children, women, men, many of those have nothing to do with what I'm talking about here today. You feel me? So I'm going to be talking about something that happened, and it continues to happen from an administrative perspective, not from a membership perspective. You follow me? And so I want everybody to know now, it's going to hurt a little bit. Yep, it's going to hurt a little bit because it's just raw truth. And it's the raw truth about it. I mean, it's a fascinating story, actually. It's not one of them stories that you want to here as it relates to someone that has made such a powerful impact on humanity. And no, I'm doing this right now. Hold on one second.
Turned it down.
You turned it down?
Yeah, you can't hear it.
All right, come on. What's on here?
So
when they're talking about Prophet Noble Drew Ali, he made such a powerful impact that to hear this story is rather disturbing. It's definitely disturbing. And so at the end of the day, but the story has to be told. It has to be told. And so we're going to tell this story. It is what it is. We are going to tell this story. Now, if you haven't heard the brother presentation, you got to back up, brother. If you haven't heard the brother presentation, I will leave the link. I will drop the link or get somebody to drop the link and I'll approve it. But the brother rebuttal was totally way to the left. It was totally Smiley Eve, hidden mini me. It was totally way to the left. He hit on some odd points, but I want to address some of the things that he hit on. Aline, sit over here for a minute so I can get the flow on. All right, you can come back in a minute, okay? I just gotta get the flow on. You come back in 1 second. So one of the things that the brother said, it was strange to me that he even said this. He said, you know, when Tahaka Bey just came out of nowhere, you know, he showed up to New York and something. And he was very disingenuous. He said, I showed up at the debate and then I used the debate from Sharif Adneel Bey, which I know he's watching now, that I used the debate of Sharif Adneel Bey to kick off my Moorish World TV platform. Now, anybody that been watching Moorish World TV know that that's a lie. If anybody gets credit for me kicking off my Moorish World TV platform, it would be me going up on 125th and standing out there talking, debating on 125th, and people begin to ask about me, and I already had a channel. In fact, he did a video and it's corny. It's corny and petty. You know what I'm saying? It's corny and petty. But I just want to speak on it. And this is supposed to be an intelligent brother that is speaking. And the things that he's saying, instead of addressing the information, he starts saying like, yeah, we accept them in, and then he's gonna do something like this. We accept them in. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Nobody accept me in nowhere. What are you talking about? And when he talked about the lecture about Dr. Reggie and Sharif Adneel Bey, he in his little presentation, he tried to make it look like that, okay, he rode off the coattails of Sharif Adneel Bey and Dr. Reggie. In fact, I already had a YouTube channel. Already had. In fact, Sharif Adneel Bey is one of the first ones, Moorish, that acknowledged my YouTube channel. Sharif Adneel Bey. See, I don't do no lying just because we don't see eye to eye. We don't have to see eye to eye and me get to start the embellishing. See, this is what these people do that don't study their lessons, that don't know their lessons, that don't practice their lessons. You know what I'm saying? They begin to embellish just to try to make themselves look good. But I just tell the truth just the way it is. Sharif Adneel Bey invited me to the debate. You follow me? And it was one of the most memorable experience that I've ever witnessed. That's when I met the brother that we're going to be discussing tonight. And I thought that brother was a stand-up brother until recently. Until recently. We was a part of a group called Ali. I'm just trying to give y'all the backdrop.
Dad, every time I eat
One moment.
pizza, that makes my cheese.
So that's the backdrop. Just like Javon said, I got to know you from Sinetta. That's right. So if anybody put my face out there, it was myself going to 125th Street, and nobody knew me, and I end up on the camera, and I did that intentionally. However, with that being said, I just didn't understand why this brother, you know what I mean, try to make up this scenario like they took me in and now I done flipped the script on them and all of that. Like, what? Bro, you tripping. You know, another thing I want to mention is brother Grand Sheik Azim Hopkins Bey from Philadelphia. I used to go to that brother for counsel. You know what I'm saying? Because the movement was so, when I say the movement, what we call the Moorish Science of America, with all of these factions, it seems so out of whack. And so I used to go up there, talk to the brother. Long story short, over time, I begin to see that no one seems to be evolving in the direction of the Prophet's program. That's just my opinion. But I can show it and back it up. I don't care how much I like somebody. I don't care how much I'm cool with somebody. If I feel as though that it's counterproductive intellectually, spiritually, and every other aspect of life that could advance myself, I'm getting away from you. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. The brother had the nerve to say on his presentation that I can't believe he doing this. I can't believe he doing this. If I decide that you and whomever I'm around is not growing and not responding to the facts that history presents, I'm out of there. I ain't rocking with you. You still my mans, but I disagree with you. I don't want to fight you. I don't hate you. I don't want to see no harm come to you. I disagree with you. That's it. That's all. Now, if you are interested in that disagreement, step up and prove me wrong. Other than that, keep it pushing. Just keep it pushing. If you disagree with what I present, step up and prove me wrong. If you don't want to do that, keep it pushing. Just keep it pushing. Because if you mention my name, I'm telling you, it's going to be a Moorish World TV show like tonight. And that's just what it is. I understand the social media construct. I understand that I use this as a teaching platform, and as Smiley E would say, hidden teachings museum. And so with that being said, this is a topic of Moorish. This is a Moorish topic tonight. And I know a lot of people may not even be interested in this topic, but the deeper purpose of this topic is to show you that infiltration can last 100 years. Infiltration can last 100 years because we still dealing with it today. And the way that I'm able to see infiltration with Tariq Nasheed, with what's the guy, Grandmaster J, Malik Zulu Shabazz, I first seen it in the Moorish Science of America. Inconsistency of behavior, inconsistency of growth, inconsistency of development. The lessons say one thing, you do another thing. Nah, and then use euphemism or cliches. We must learn to love instead of hate to prevent you from talking about it. And the brother did that on his presentation too. He said, man, we supposed to love. The prophets say love. Now, what you want to use that for is to silence people who got some questions. And that's what Moors do. They use that little love thing. The prophets say we must learn to love instead of hate. No, the prophet said, if I can get you to think, you can save yourself. I'm thinking, I got some questions. Who wants some smoke? I want it all. That's it. That's it. That's it. I mean, don't be trying to use that little love thing to try to not have somebody question your inconsistencies, your indiscretions, your lies, your hypocrisy. Don't try to use that love thing. Don't try to use that other trick knowledge. Talking about, oh man, Moors are divided. Saying little silly stuff like that. Man, a lot of Moors don't even want to deal with this. What lot of Moors you talking about? They're going to try to paint every Moor that profess the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, rocking with the way he think. A lot of Moors don't like what? What? Like, nah. So this is all of that projection that you were doing. I got to call you on it. That's all projection. A lot of Moors, what lot of Moors? What are you talking about? And let me say this before we get started with this intro. I chose to separate myself from the non-progressive Moors that have been in temples and in situations for over 20 years and repeating the same behavior. I chose to get away from that. Nobody got away from me. I chose to get away from that. You know what I mean? The brother goes say, "Oh, he mad because I felt some type of way when I heard this part. The brother got mad because I stopped accepting his call. Like, bro, that's real gay of you to say something like that. I gotta keep it a buck, bro. That's straight Skittle family to say something like that. How can you say that? Oh, he got mad because I got mad, bro. How you come up with that? How you come up with that? When I heard that, I said, my goodness, he straight went Skittles on me. He straight went over the rainbow on me. I got mad because you would, what? How did you come up with that? He went straight Skittles on me. I said, man. I was disappointed with that one. That's something that a sister would say. You know what I mean? Oh, what you mad because I won't answer your call? Like, no, I never called you. What you mean, sis? I ain't never called you, sis. You just mad because I ain't answer your call. No, sis, I never called you, sis. You tripping. I never called you, sis. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it went straight Skittles on me. And so, yeah, I got to call a spade because now the way I'm saying it raw, he was trying to cloak it. You know what I mean? He was trying to cloak it. He tried to cloak and dress it up like I was up beneath them trying to follow them. Nah, bro. I ain't never been that type. You tripping, man. You about to get this heat now. We're gonna learn tonight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna learn tonight. Period, point blank. We're gonna learn tonight. Yeah, let's get it started, family. Let's get it started while the people come out.
That's what this was, man. This killer. Falsehood killer.
Hold up. Let's stop that.
Gazimin.
Hold up.
Zalamin.
Hold up. Y'all ready? I was going to put my fez on tonight. And I said, man, this ain't even worth it. You know what I mean? I said, this ain't even worth it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what this was, man. Try it. Okay? I will cut you to ribbons. That's what this was, man. This killer. Falsehood killer. Gazimin. Zalamin. Mujrikin.
Don't make me take this fence off, Allah knows, cause I will take some heads off. You all foes, lower up, I'm off to keep a banger that'll sink the Noah's Ark. Stop playing with me, I'm the true and living God, but I know the low a little better than you little frauds. Trying to keep it on the high though. I really love my bro, but I can go lower than a worm. No lamo. See y'all let the evil social media gas you thumb thuggin'. Thinking when I see you I'ma pass you. Oh nah, we can talk about it, acting like you about it. Guarantee you when I see you we could put some chalk around it. Talking like a big boy, this fans won't save you. Cause I will take this fans off and ask you who made you. You better say Allah when you look me in my eyes. You see the image of Allah. Don't be looking surprised, I'm the God in the flesh. Of course I'm fresh, I resurrect and protect. I don't believe he left, I breathe Jesus' breath. You breathe weed and death, we come correct like a check when the G's connect. Disrespect, trying to get a rep, I'm coming for your wreck, for real.
Don't make
me take this fans off. Don't make me take this fans off. Islam, don't make me take this fans off. Don't make me take this fast off. Let's not rehash the past. You better ask quick fast before I go into my bag. See real with mine. I'm religious, not blind. Too many people are dying. To be playing with your clowns. I ain't playing with you then. I ain't playing with you now. I picked up a circle 7. Now you think I'm a reverend. I'm a sheep with a scimitar from 7-11. Let's keep it 100. Yeah, you really don't want it. You better stick with the lessons and see what you can get from it. Cause all you getting from me is a one-way ticket going straight to. Yeah, you know we can kick it, but if you want kick it, then let's kick it. But if you don't, Original people, I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I try to tell y'all? I'm the king of this YouTube. Ain't worried about you dudes. Ain't nothing that you do to make me care. But I pray to Allah, you don't take me there. See, I'm the type to get in front this mic and sacrifice. Aight, you the type to get in front the mic and hope you get some likes. I used to back the thing, they go bang bang and boom. Today, my brain cells is a fully armed army platoon. And y'all some cartoons, fools and buffoons. You wanna meet on IG? I prefer high noon. I'm a quick draw McGraw standing on that floor. It's self, Lord and Master, Allah. See you dumb and you blind, can't see the summer is mine. You better pay attention, the answer's in between the lines. I'm the man still standing, kill them haters single-handed. Had them fighting each other with every... Hold up. Y'all ready? Hold up, Lean. Lean back there rocking. Hold up. Let's go. I gotta get one more in. I gotta get pumped up, fam. This called the card Jagannath. And what the card Jagannath is, it's this ritual that they do in India, you know, and they got this cart that they think the God's in. They think the gods that protect them, save them is in this cart. And so this called the card Jagannath. You know what I'm saying? We got rid of that, man. You can't give us fake gods no more. We got rid of that. Here we go.
How can I tell you how
Check.
What should I write?
Let me talk to him.
What can I say?
Can I talk to him?
How can I tell you how much?
Talk to him.
Much.
Y'all been tripping lately. I know you starting to hate me, cause I'm exposing y'all for simply dozing off, sleeping at the wheel, acting like you real. You got my profit on the back burner with the oatmeal. I bring them to the front, and then you wanna front, talking all tough, but this ain't what you really want. I'm for peace, but my scimitar's sharp now. I represent the Moors that put that old cart down. The card Jagannath got you sounding mad soft. It's just an idle shrine, he'll fight you out your mind. To go against me, the Sultan of the West, stand down or I will put your weak knowledge to the test. You better ask somebody, back in my last life, I will run up on you 45 mask tight. I'm the revealer now, I take the mask off. I tell the truth and let the truth flash y'all.
What should I say?
Let me talk to him.
What can I say?
Can I talk to him?
How can I tell you how much I
Let me talk to him. Oh,
What should I say?
can I talk to him?
What can I say?
Talk to him.
How can I tell you how much
I know some real elders, you know some old folks. I know some serious Moors who ain't no joke. They don't be YouTubing, they don't be Facebooking, they don't be clout chasing. But yeah, they looking, they see you demonstrating, sounding like it's 85 lies. You was born from them old Moors you keep alive. live. I keep it fresh though. Tell you how the flag go. The head don't know, then the whole body mad slow. Yeah, that's a cheap shot, and it might cost you. If you ain't in your lessons, then I probably lost you. You ain't no grand nothing. You define what? It still amazes me. All them people lined up and fell in line. Blind leaving the blind, got us far behind. Confusing 29, but I'm wide awoke. Oh yeah, I solved the puzzle. Man, they didn't love the prophet, so how could they love you? Huh? Can I talk to him? Let me talk to him.
All right, that's enough. About to get busy.
Let me talk to him. He back at crying now.
We're gonna get one more in, and we ready.
Yeah. I'm the
Oh my
manifest.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Check 1, 2.
Oh my goodness.
Sean, we got one. We got one. Yeah. Crypto,
Yeah.
we got one.
Yeah.
Maymuna, we got one. Candy, we got one. Abu X. I'm the manifest of God. The manifest of God. Hit me privately, let's see who really hard. I'm the manifest of God. Ain't worrying about you fraud. Gone. Hit me privately, let's see who really hard. I'm the manifest of God. The manifest of God. Let's see who really hard. Ain't worrying about you frauds. I'm the manifest of God. The manifest of God. Ain't worrying about you frauds. Hit me privately, let's see who really hard. Ain't worrying about you frauds. Boy, I'm a gorilla, be it calm guerrilla warfare. Don't make me turn killer. You acting like my knife don't shank, my gun don't bust. Hit me quietly, we can do the fist to cup. Show up, I'm really about that stick life, but I'm trying to keep it peace to bring my people to the light. You all washed up beer belly has-beens be tripping. Internet disrespect, making threats, you slipping. Now you said it how you think I'm gonna respond. With a song and a live stream, homie, you wrong. You done showed that John too many times and they ain't use it. And I ain't really sure who you got me confused with. I'm the manifest of God, the manifest of God. Ain't worried about your frauds, let's see who really hard. I'm the manifest of God, ain't worried about your frauds. Holla at me privately, come on, let's see who really hard. I'm the manifest of God, the manifest of God. Hit me privately, let's see who really hard. I'm the manifest of God, the manifest of God. Hit me privately, let's see who really hard. I'm the manifest.
Yeah, we about to turn up now. Y'all ready now? We warmed up now. That's right. Moorish World TV, the virtual boom boom room. Everybody saying this. Don't nobody really want no knowledge. People want that wisdom when it comes to exposing these frauds. But there's going to be a little bit of knowledge. There's going to be a little bit of wisdom. There's going to be a little bit of everything. That's right. We about to rock out. Hey, I think Crypto say bring in the horns. Crypto say we can't do nothing without the horns. That's what he told me. Cryptonomic. He said, man, you can't start no show without the horns. If you play 100 songs, you got to bring the horns. We about to bring the horns, family. All right. Yeah, we about to bring the horns. I wanted to give an ample time for everybody to get in.
So special.
They're gonna be coming in as soon as I get this started. Let me get my stuff ready. I'm definitely ready. It's time to rock now. That's right. What? Shoulda never came back. Shoulda never came back with that whack presentation. Boy, you faking. Boy, you faking like plant-based bacon. You faking. We know you eat the swine. It's all up in your mind. That's why you on the internet. You need to grind. You think it's ready. You think you're ready. You think you're hot. You talking steady. I'm steady. Watch how I move. Ain't no battle that I can lose. I ain't never seen a man who beat me. Obvious. Say someone who can defeat me. Name one. I done flamed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now I'm knocking at your door. Ha! Let's go! Let's go!
I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. You a friend of the Moors, then you a friend of mine. I was told to watch my enemies, now hold my line. Those that speak against the prophet, they speak against me. And I'm speaking about the prophet over Drew Ali, who was the first to remind you and bind you back to Morocco, the mountains, Mississippi, and Quebec. Told you you wasn't black, proved it with straight facts. You tripping off trucks, you need to be tripping off that. And here we go again, acting like you a slave. The same people talk European how to bathe. And look at that women buying European hair. No love for self, but do the men really care? Hell no, cause they got a love for Europe. Whole generation chasing pills, weed and syrup. Yeah, they love Lil Yachty, Tucci, Gucci, Kodak, Amigos, Ross, Lucid. But when the love for the woman look like your mother, I guess they say it's all black when it's under the cover. Now cypher, I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. I be that more you gon' remember. I'ma be that more you gon' remember, that's right. I be that more you gon' remember. To Harker Bay front line till the law call my number. All you super scholars holler, this era for the workers. You ain't building on the ground, then you working than a twerker. You look and sound good, but that's only on the surface. Probably working for the people. Now tell me what's your purpose. Ain't worried about your homie, but know that I know every mo that rock the fans. He ain't my bro. Yeah, you know I ain't slow. I seen it all before. How they try to kill the prophet, it was all for show. And some got it right now. Don't say that I'm not down. I'm coming for my fast mistakes. I want my town, my shirt, my stores, my school, my nation. Sick and tired of the procrastination and debate. Y'all keep hating when love is the savior. You don't love yourself, so you can't love your neighbor. That's why you're killing, fighting, marry out of your race. If you ain't for Moorish world, then get out of my face. Cause Chinese love China.
That being said, let's get started, family. This is not typical. This is not typical what I do on Moorish World TV, but this is what we're going to do today. So one of the first things that I want to lay out for you is this. One of the things I want to lay out for you is this. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was born in the state of North Carolina, 1886. And through trial and perseverance, make a long story short, he goes to Chicago because of the laws in Chicago. It kind of suited the direction he wanted to take the Moorish Science Temple of America. And that direction was to start an organization that could metamorphose into a nation untampered with. In other words, untampered with from the perspective that being interfered with by the government. You follow what I'm saying? So with that being said, Chicago just had the perfect setup, and it's under the statutes called Herds Provide statute, whereas though in these statutes, you're able to set up a corporation, and that corporation is not accountable per se. It's not accountable like the average corporation set up in the United States. It's more like I think the best way that I can put it, it's more set up like a corporate government structure, if you understand. Like the United States is a corporation. All nations have charters. All nations are moving from a legal perspective, if you will. And that's how the Moorish Science Temple of America was set up. And I'm just trying to keep it basic so everybody can understand. So when the Prophet Noble Drew Ali goes to Chicago and he sets up the Moorish Temple of Science in 1926, by the time 1928 hit, the success was crazy. I'm talking about the Moors had established schools, the Moors had established grocery stores, the Moors had established newspapers. I mean, on and on and on. I could just go on and on. They literally established a microcosmic ecosystem that could be self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, it grew so fast that the European powers, they wanted to they wanted in. And in order to get in, they sent somebody, as they do, they sent someone that looked like us so they can get in. It was all about money and political power in the beginning. Do you see what I'm saying? It was about money and political power, because the Moors had grew so rapidly within a short period of time. They knew that if this would double in a shorter period of time, these Moors would actually take over parts of Chicago or any city that they went. You know what I'm saying? That's just the fact of the matter. That's just the fact of the matter. And so when, I mean, the rapid growth was tremendous. I mean, 1 year they had receipts that would equivalent to $1 million just out of 1 year of selling like products, oils, teas, and compounds, and newspapers. And I mean, it was a huge thing. And many people don't hear about it today because there is a blueprint to that. Because let me say, it's a blueprint there for community building. You know what I'm saying? It's a blueprint there for organized building. And if you see that blueprint, whether you are within the Moorish Science Temple of America or not, and you use that blueprint, it's going to return success and power. That's the thing. It's going to return you success and power. It's going to return you to economic power. It's going to return you to political power. You know, and with those two, you can really change more than you can ever imagine. You know, when you understand what economic power is and political power is, it's a wrap. Because all groups of people, that's what they come here and strive for, economic and political power. People be thinking that the Chinese be worrying about their little culture in their little stores with their little fans and all that. They're getting some economic power. And then when they get to the point where they can build a Chinatown, they're going to try to put themselves in the position to run that Chinatown by getting political power. And then they're going to cut the check to themselves, you know. And so that's what the Moors was doing. And so as I start, what would happen is that unfortunately, Europeans want in, and they already had money, you know. They already had money, but they wanted in. And so let me screen share real quick. One of the things that I wanted to point out is, as I screen share, is this. Get to this real quick, 1 second. There it is. I was going to do a presentation like this in 2020. So I'm showing this to just say that this is not a new presentation, but it's new research that came with it. You know what I'm saying? And I was going to do this in 2020. The reason why I was going to do it in 2020 is because many people had such a misunderstanding as to the founding of the Moorish Science Temple of America, all the confusion that we see today and where it came from. And so I was going to do this in 2020, but in 2019, I did about 3 lectures, pay-per-view lectures, and I never want anybody to think that I'm doing this for a dime. You know what I'm saying? Which it does take time, and absolutely, you should be rewarded for the efforts that you put in, but I try my best not to go overboard. And no matter how much I want to give people this information, and make sure that the people who are serious about it will come forth and get it, I said, nah, that might be too much. So I didn't put it off. It's 2023 now, and this is the lecture that I was going to do, and I just added a lot of stuff to it. This lecture here, it starts off, as you can see, I used the article, Founder is a Killer. Noble Drew Ali, the founder, was beaten to death early this morning, a few weeks after the fatal stabbing of his assistant, Claude Green. Let me stop right there. Claude Green was not Prophet Noble Drew Ali's assistant. Claude Green was the business manager of the Moorish Science Temple of America. If anybody ever watched Tariq Nasheed and he was talking stuff that he didn't know about, we're going to cover some of that stuff today. So Claude Green was the business manager, and you're going to hear about this business manager who was the step-in for these Europeans. Anyway, the stabbing of Claude Green, and ultimately he succumbed to his nonsense because some Moors didn't like how he was moving and ultimately took him out. Bottom line. So anyway, it's with whom he had been at odds. Let me start it here. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was at odds with Claude Green because money was coming up missing. He had only been in a position a short amount of time and money was coming up missing. And so he was forced to resign. In February, he was forced to resign. In March, he claimed to be the Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America and told the prophet he got to go. You follow me? You follow me? Somebody say, so you... Family, please. So you co-signed the murder of Sheik Claude Green? Who co-signs murder, man? Cut it out. I'm telling history. Stop it. Stop being crazy. I'm telling the history. So you co-signed the murder of Sheik Claude Green? I'm telling the history. And I know you a troll account. But so if you keep it up, you're going to roll and troll right up out of here. I'm telling the history. Anyway. It says no one was convicted for either slaying, but it was thought that Kirkman Bey may have known the slayer and perhaps have opened to win for himself the coveted leadership. Aleem. So this is where it all starts at. This is where it starts at. Brother, listen, I'm not going to keep going through this. Matter of fact, man, I'm gonna go ahead and make a new account, man. I'm gonna go get you out of here. Now listen, what I'm trying to tell you, that ain't just a question, bro, because you can't interpret that like that. I mean, anyway, for those who are interested. So when I first seen this article right here, I was like, wow, all my life in the Moorish Science Temple of America, they was telling me that Prophet Noble Drew Ali died from tuberculosis. You feel me? They was telling me that Prophet Noble Drew Ali could heal tuberculosis. That did not make a lot of sense to me. He died from tuberculosis, but he could heal tuberculosis. I was like, that don't make a lot of sense to me. How does that make any sense? But that was the running word. And so when I began to research and I started seeing articles that he was actually murdered, I was like, wow, now that makes more sense. That makes more sense. And there's way more articles that will underscore Prophet Noble Drew Ali being murdered by another group of Moors as opposed to Prophet Noble Drew Ali passing away from tuberculosis. There's far more evidence, and I got the evidence. But with that being said, let's talk about the two people that actually finance this insurrection and this hijacking. So number one, now this is a bit of history that the guy that was trying to debunk my presentation, this is a bit of history that he didn't go into, and maybe he don't know nothing about it. I don't know. But whatever the case may be. So Julius Rosenwald, he was an American businessman and a philanthropist. If you look and research Julius Rosenwald, he is one who traveled all throughout the South and put Negro schools into Negro communities, quote unquote, under the auspice that he was educating poor little Negro children. And that's how he got the name as this philanthropist. But in fact, time would reveal that they were basically training these children. This is what I come to see, to basically be subservient to a system that wasn't subservient to them. They was getting the children while they were small. And in fact, it's called I'm gonna pull it up for you. This wasn't a part of it, but just so you can look at it real quick, I'm gonna just pull it up for you. If you go and take a look, 1 second. If you go and research it, right? Let me see. If you go and research it, let me see. Here you go. Go look at the Rosenwald documentary. Y'all see that right there? Go try to find the documentary. And don't worry about they're going to sugarcoat it. They're going to do all that sugarcoating. But know for sure, ultimately, the idea was to get to the children while they were young, under the auspice that they were educating poor little black children, Negro children. You follow what I'm saying? So Claude Green, as you see in the picture there, he was this guy's butler. All right. Now, also, what you got to understand is that Julius Rosenwald, he was one of the biggest heads of the Sears and Roebuck catalog. If you understand it from a historical perspective, it goes like this. Before there was a big Sears department store in every city, it was the Amazon of its day. The catalogs came around, the salesmen came around, people ordered what they ordered, it came through Western Union. It was big, it was huge. Prophet Noble Drew Ali also had a mail order business also. You feel me? And he would be selling stuff through the mail also. So he was so profitable with it that ultimately you can see why Julius Rosenwald will want to blend or be in on this. Because what Prophet Noble Drew Ali was selling, he was selling the healing oils. And when I'm talking about healing oils, don't get all pseudo with me. The stuff that you use for toothaches, to numb your tooth, he had some oil that actually numb your teeth, but you can also use it for other things. And it actually works too. It actually works. You know what I'm saying? And so when we say healing, we're not talking about some spooky type of healing. You know what I'm saying? Rub this on your head and you know what I mean, you're not on your head to go down. We're not talking about that. But also he was selling these teas. Man, and them teas, they nasty as ever. It's nasty as ever. But they can really cleanse you in ways that you would never imagine. But they was really, really popular. You know what I'm saying? They was real popular at the time. And so obviously Julius Rosenwald want to get in. And his way in was Claude Green. Now, also what you got to remember, this is a great history lesson, fam. That's why I say this is a crazy documentary. Anybody that's seen my lecture, they're going to be like, man, okay, now this goes with it. Not only was Claude Green in with Rosenwald, Claude Green was also in with Samuel Insull. Now, Samuel Insull, he was the what they would call the guy that owned utilities. He was a big utility guy that he controlled pretty much Chicago and other cities' utilities. And because And because at that time, the utilities, they're just getting on an upswing. And so politicians that have offices and government offices, you know what I'm saying? Government offices, they need these utilities. And so they would do favors for Samuel Insull. Samuel Insull could pay and get people in office, et cetera, et cetera. You feel me? With that being said, Claude Green, he managed the building right behind, right in between where you see the Moors standing at. It's called 3140 Indiana Avenue. Claude Green managed that building. So when people think about the Moorish Science Temple of America and they see this building, the first thing that they think is that, okay, that was a Moorish. No, the Moors did not own that building. Claude Green was the manager of that building, and this European was the owner of that building. And I'm of the thought that these two Europeans sent Claude Green to infiltrate the Moorish Science Temple of America for their benefit. From a political perspective and an economic perspective, it would benefit them. Now, for Claude Green to pull this off, he would have to have some help. Now watch this. Prophet Noble Drew Ali was teaching out of his house, and he called it home office. You follow me? He was teaching out of his house. Claude Green and him meet, and he invites Prophet Noble Drew Ali into a space in 3140 Indiana Avenue. He also lets him know that he also can have access to the basement for performances for the manufacturing company. And basically, he was just rolling out the red carpet to the Moors. Prophet Noble Drew Ali takes him up on the offer. They're paying rent now. Don't get it twisted. It's not free. They're paying rent. He takes him up on his offer. Claude Green also had political ties. You follow me? And Claude Green rubbed elbows with a lot of different people, that has a bunch of power. Now, once Claude Green is put in the position of the business manager, money come up missing. That's the first thing. Money comes up missing. And that's where I will stop right there, and we're going to go right here with it. We're going to go right here with it. Because now I got to show you, how the infiltration from yesterday still exists today. Green, according to reports, held a meeting of his faction Sunday at Unity Hall. One of the points that we were lost on growing up was that this split in the Moorish Science Temple of America happened after the prophet passed away. I'm of the thought, and I teach, and I'm the first one that ever taught it, that this happened while the prophet was living. The brother that I'm going to be talking about, they try to teach that there was no split. There was no split. I'm going to show you basic stuff. If you want the full lecture, it's 4 hours long. It's 4 hours long. They was doing this while the prophet was living. It says Green, according to reports, held a meeting of his faction Sunday at Unity Club, that's Unity Hall, in which the prophet is said to had spies. When it was learned that Green had some of the strongest temples in the organization, the prophet became alarmed and called a meeting. Now stop right there. Claude Green, while the prophet was on tour of the temples, while the prophet was on tour, the prophet went on tour of all the temples, 17 temples. He went on tour from November, and it was to last until February of 29. While he was on tour, they began to infiltrate these temples. The first temple that they infiltrated was temple number 9, which was the strongest temple in the Moorish Science Temple of America outside of the temple in Detroit, temple number 4. It was said to have over 3,000 members. You follow me? Temple number 9. So you know their economics was really, really strong. You follow me? So while the prophet was going around lecturing at the temples, they were infiltrating. One of the plan was when the prophet come back, the plot is that he raped a little girl. Y'all remember that? Remember they said that? See, I'm gonna keep it with you about. The plot was that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali molested a little 12-year-old girl. And when he comes back from his tour, they were going to lock him up. The 12-year-old girl, her name was Mary Foreman Bey. Her father was a part of the infiltration team that ultimately put her up to it. How do we know this? When you study the history, you see that the police take her in for questioning. Now, out on the forefront, they're asking questions, and she's saying, yeah, we were married at 12 years old. I was 12 years old when we got married. Now, the math don't add up. Don't worry about that. The math don't add up. She said I was 12 years old. And so what the police ultimately would do is they would take her mother, and a girl named Christina Price Bey and her mother into custody. Once they took them into custody, they made a confession that they was pushed in to say that. You follow me? So now when the prophet comes back off a tour, they still about to question the prophet, but Claude Green end up getting killed. Now they associating the prophet with the murder of Claude Green. So now the thing about the little girl is to the wayside. They're going for the bigger charge now. It wasn't meant for Claude Green to be killed. It was meant for him to go to jail. The little girl, they fake like that's his wife, and the little girl would be able to advance as the wife and have control over all the assets. It was said that the prophet was worth over $1 million. That's a lot of money in 1929 going into the Depression. You got to understand the times that we were in. So that was the whole objective. Get him out the way. And once he's out the way, the next of kin would have possession. That's another story. They made fake marriage certificates and everything. And I'm the first one that discovered the fake marriage certificates and everything. Crazy, 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 crazy. I'll show you a little bit of it tonight. Anyway, that lays out the backdrop. But this is how infiltration works. It's very intricate. It's very intricate. This is one of the guys that was the assistant Grand Sheik of Temple number 1, Small Bey. He says, Small Bey stated that a split had come in the organization and that Green was allied with a faction opposing the prophet. So there we go, proving again. Hold up, my bad. There we go, proving again that this infiltration was happening while the prophet was alive. It didn't happen while the prophet was gone. Right? Listen to it. Small stated that the split had come in the organization and that Green was allied with a faction opposing the prophet. He further stated that the prophet had sent to Pittsburgh, PA, and for a brother. You follow what I'm saying? So all of the lies that this split happened after the prophet, this is what I be proving. And the brother got mad at me because I'm telling that this green leadership is the same leadership that you see today, just of a different face. And I'm going to prove it tonight. I mean, let me say this again. Family, situation 9. This is history. Bro, this is history. When you go to school, you don't ask them why the Revolutionary War is all drama. Man, get out of here and go find something to do with yourself, man. Man, let me get my channel set up, man. So when you ask something stupid, man, I'm going to just get you out of here. I'm not going to waste no more time. I mean, this is history, you goofy. I'm going to call a spade a spade. Make me sick with this foolishness, man. Where he at? Let me get him out of here. Block him real fast. That's as crazy as ever. Get out of here. We're talking about history. And that's a problem that we have as a people too. The moment that we are talking about real history, people want to talk about drama. People want to talk about beefing. People want to talk about all that to try to stop telling history for what it is. Just like when I do these presentations, the first thing somebody say, why the Moors are beefing? It ain't no beef. This is history. And we looking at history so we can get the present day walk right. Period, point blank. Stop talking about this beefing. That ain't no beefing. It's history so we can get it right. For those who choose to get it right, they can get it right. For those who are history buffs, how many people in here that didn't even hear about the Rosenwald schools? And now you can go and study the Rosenwald schools and see how the information that they was given to our children to make them subservient. And today we see 3 generations later where everybody's docile. This is history. Aline, oh my goodness. What you want?
One hug.
What you want a hug for? Huh?
I'm going to the bathroom.
All right, give me a hug. Yeah.
I need to go to the bathroom.
All right. But you say, mommy about to come home in a minute though. All right.
What?
We got a bill. We got to teach.
But Dad?
Yeah.
Mommy said I can go to the bathroom upstairs.
No, don't go upstairs. Go right there. Go right there, right around there. But with that being said, wait, he didn't mess me up. So, hey fam, see, hey, y'all see the type of dedication I put into this? You know what I mean? Y'all see the type of dedication I put into this? Come on, man. We wait for his mother to come home, and she gonna take over from there. But we gonna get this presentation done. With that being said, as you can see, the point that I was making, that's the thought I was making, is that this infiltration started before the prophet departed from flesh. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of the strongest temples that went with Claude Green. You follow me? Where the Prophet Noble Ali said, the 3,000 Muslims of the Grand Temple and the West Side Temple are making ready to register every man, woman in order to take the lead in the various candidates. At this time, the Moors were strategically formulating their vote to formulate their power, to take over politically. You follow what I'm saying? So the Moors would say, we got 3,000 people. It only take certain amount of votes here. We can get this person here in position, or we can put one of us in position. You follow me? You follow me? So this one of this temple right here, temple number 9, they actually went with Claude Green. You follow me? This was one of the main temples that went with Claude Green. And temple number 4. And this all going to make sense in a minute. It's all going to make sense in a minute. Another thing that I wanted to point out is that Green is said to have resigned from the cult. This is an article from the cult after there was some misunderstanding regarding the collection of monies from chapters throughout the country. In other words, it was said that Green was pocketing the bread. You follow what I'm saying? So here in the Moorish Guide, it says, this is, in the Moorish Guide, it says, Brother Claude Green Bey, for the past 6 months, he only been there for 6 months, in this position, for the past 6 months, Supreme Grand Business Manager of the Moorish Science Temple of America tendered his resignation to Prophet Noble Drew Ali Sunday, February 10th. At the end of the regular weekly meeting, such a move by the brother who held down this important position of power given him by the prophet came as great and direct surprise to all. Mystery shrouded the whole affair in view of the fact that the prophet nor Bro Green would make any public statement. When they came from one of the rooms in the building where they had a conference in the presence of 2 or 3 others, both appeared to be in best of spirits and parted with a friendly adieu. Brother Green was recently elected president of the Chicago Booster Civic Club by a board of directors of that body, according to recent newspaper report. He had previously held the secretarialship of the organization for the past 3 years. Now, when I read this now, I see that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was able to see that Claude Green was taking the bread, and that, okay, instead of shaming him, he would allow him to resign and then just move on. Just resign and move on. Blah. And then like everybody was shocked. Just resign and move on. Now this makes sense to me. When I first read it, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. Why would he do what I mean? But then now I'm more deeply into the research. I see what happened. He was tendering his resignation just to be able to keep it cool, move on. But then a month later, Drew Ali leadership was soon contested. In 29, he became embroiled in a quarrel with Claude Green, politician and former butler of Julius Rosenwald, who previously had joined the temple. One day, Drew arrived to his office to find out that Green had moved out all the furniture outside and declared himself Grand Sheik. Stop right there. This is where it's going to get tricky. So Claude Green declares himself Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple of America. That means that it's a wrap for you. Get your stuff. Remember, I said that he was the manager of 3940 Indiana Avenue, whatever it is. I might butcher it because I want to use my thoughts. He was the manager of the building. Just say it like that, so I can keep my thought flowing. He was the manager of the building. So he put Prophet Noble Drew Ali, evicted Prophet Noble Drew Ali immediately and said, I am the Grand Sheik. Press 7 if you understand what I'm saying. Because now we're going to get into how this builds all the way up to 2023. So it goes on to say, and it's on the screen, it says, a civil war ensued, each faction enlisting support from temples and of the city. In other words, these factions have already existed. And this is what people have to understand. These factions did not happen when Prophet Noble Drew Ali passed form. These factions existed right in the midst while the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was organizing and teaching and building community efforts. It happened right there. And the Prophet Noble Drew Ali knew it. That's why the Prophet Noble Drew Ali will always say, there's Moors on the high road. Are you with them or are you with me? The Prophet Noble Drew Ali knew it. It says, Green was shot and stabbed to death in his office at Unity Hall on the night of March 15th, 1929. So some Moors that was obviously totally upset that Claude Green went left like that, they ran up in there and ended his life. It says Drew Ali arrested as he sat with his wife and a group of followers, and they say celebrating. Come on, that don't even sound right. The murder of his rival, but hey, who knows? Was defended by Ern Payne and William L. Dawson, Temple members who later gained political power. It says, Drew Ali was released on bond. He wasn't released on bond. I mean, he wasn't released on bond. He actually went up to the grand jury and they didn't find no evidence and they let him go. So this story is kind of chopped and screwed, but you know what I mean? For the most part, it's on point. Just a couple parts that's chopped and screwed, and you can compare it with other history sources. You follow me? It says, and shortly thereafter died under mysterious circumstances a few weeks later. One theory is that he succumbed to the injuries inflicted by police during his imprisonment. Another is that he was set up by partisans of Green after his release and beaten so severely that he never recovered. That's 2 times where they're saying that Prophet Noble Drew Ali was beat to the point of unable to come back. You know what I'm saying? That's 2 times now. But they told us that he had tuberculosis. That's what they told us. Now, with that being said, the way that the matter of fact, I'm gonna go past that. Let me go past that real quick. Let's bring in Kirkman Bey. Let's bring in Kirkman Bey. This starts the leadership. This starts the leadership after Claude Green. Mind you, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, while he was in the flesh, had selected this guy here named Edward Miliel. But here, the state's attorney office has gathered a wealth of data on the cult, which shows that its underlining and basic aims were to elevate the power of the black race over the white. This was not generally approved and led to interorganizational trouble. So that would give the indication that those Moors that was trying to raise up, if you will, against oppression, somebody was trying to calm them down. It says this was not generally approved and led to interorganizational trouble, which broke out 4 months ago with the assassination. And in this article, they say Prophet Claude Green. Kirkman succeeded Green, but Johnson can't hold up. So when we see that, whenever we see that Kirkman Bey succeeded Green, that would tell you that that is the other group right there. That's the other group. That's not the Prophet Noble Drew Ali group. That's the other group. Press 7 if y'all with me. That got to be the other group, because it's saying that Kirkman, and this is not the only place where we see this. We see this in multiple places when the story is told that Kirkman succeeds Green. So he's the leader of the opposite group. He's not the leader of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali group. He's the leader of those who's trying to overthrow Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And this is not the only article. There's many out there that says that he was the successor of Green. Many. I done dug them all up. But now, before I go any further, I want to hear some of these things that the brother said in his presentation. I'm just going to grab one. Now, okay. Let's see. He says that. Let's try this one.
I am correct. We're correct. If you think properly, you say they had an election at this convention in 1929, and after the election, they took a portrait afterward. Everybody was.
Let me stop right there. So this guy is of the thought that there was a convention in 1929, and Kirkman Bey was elected into office to be the leader. Remember, I'm bringing this all the way back then till now. So although right now we are in 1929, we're going to bring it all the way up to 2023. So this guy rebuttal was, no, that didn't happen. Kirkman Bey was elected. Listen again.
Fine, right? Mealy Ill was there. Brother E. Mealy Ill was there, I believe, that convention And it was at the following convention, and then it was later that he broke off and began to do his own conventions, and when he was running operations at his house where he got upset.
Remember he's saying this. Remember he's saying that Emilio broke off and started his own thing. Let me stop there for a minute. Let me stop there for a minute. Let me stop there for a minute. Let's just slide down here for a minute. First of all, what had happened after Claude Green passes? Kirkman Bey tried to put himself in position as the leader of all the Moors, succeeding Claude Green. When in fact, Emilio was put in place by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. What you want? Drink some water. Drink a little bit of water. All right. Yeah, we working double duty tonight. So let's talk about the process of which he says he was elected. Let's just look at that. You know what I mean? I didn't even want to do this because bro was just so far off. But let's just entertain that for a second. You know what I mean? Let's entertain that for a second. Now, here we go. Let's entertain this for a second. Now, let me get to Emilio. That's not it. That's not it. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Let me stop that. My bad. I know what I wanted to do. I know what I wanted to do. First of all, this is going to be a good one. First of all, I wanted to show this. This was an article where it says, because of certain incidents, oh, that's talking about the, I think that's talking about, what is that? For the betterment, that is for something else. The Supreme, because of certain incidents in some branch temples, prices of the convention, far-reaching changes, betterment, and the advancement affairs, enforced the Supreme Grand Council in the fortune letter. Okay, this is what I want to read. It is reported that the Prophet, the supreme executive authority, will appoint a Supreme Grand Council, of which he will be the Supreme Grand Chairman. The Supreme Grand Council will have power and duty to control and supervise all affairs and properties of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and it will be the sole judge of which constitutes conduct injurious to the order of peace, and the order of peace, interest, and welfare of the organization, or at variance with its constitution and bylaws. Also, the rules and regulations made by the Prophet, and shall be the sole judge of the sufficiency of the evidence by which such conduct is shown. Prophet Noble Drew Ali is being congratulated by Chicagoans on the success of the Moors' first annual convention for his splendid work in promoting the cause of human brotherhood. Now, let me stop right there. One of the things that I want to point out is that the Supreme Grand Council, right? The Supreme Grand Council was put together so it can be organized how leadership takes place. And leadership takes place by appointment, not election. In other words, Prophet Noble Drew Ali appointed Emilio, and the grand body have to accept it. It's kind of like, I didn't pull that letter out. It's kind of like the Senate. When someone is appointed to the Senate, the other group, they have to accept it. They have to confirm it. The Senate confirmation, you know what I mean? Or you know what I mean? And that's just how the Moorish Science Temple works. So there is no election. that brings people into power of the Moorish Science of America. The way the system worked, then when the prophet gone, Eliel will be in charge because he was appointed. Oh, and Eliel was appointed Supreme Grand Sheik, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Eliel was appointed, right? And so at every convention, his leadership is confirmed. You know what I'm saying? The public will confirm his leadership, and he will go on into another year as the Supreme Grand Sheik and the Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science of America. If the grand body feels as though he's inadequate, he's not making no progress, the grand body can say, no, we need another appointment. We need somebody else. Now, if Eliel is unable to appoint someone, then the Supreme Grand Council will get together and decide who is appointed, because they are the ones that lay out that which is that constitute the legalities of the Moorish Science Temple of America and the culture, as well as the laws, legal, everything. You know what I mean? That's what it is. I'm using all sorts of words, but that's just what it is. And so once the Supreme Grand Council appoints somebody, or the former Grand Sheik and Chairman appoints somebody, then now the grand body, which is all the temples, have to confirm it. In other words, that's when they say yay or nay. But it comes from appointment first, not election first. That's not how the Moorish Science Temple of America worked, and the history shows that. But anyway, this brother says this
about what happened in 1929. But the majority of the people, first of all, we're going to go into Hers revised statutes that the election process is possible in the 805 based on the rules and regulations of a.
Now, I don't know why he's bringing up that. That has nothing to do with anything, because they don't even use this statute called Hers revised statute. I don't even know why he's talking about that, and that might confuse you, but I'm going to just let it play for a minute, see if he say anything that I can speak on.
Of Hers revised statutes of a religious corporation. But even further on is, starting with the common sense, the majority of the people that did stay, you saying all of them are wrong? Brother Kirkman Bey, Sister Whitehead ill, who stayed, didn't.
See, he's talking about, he's using tricknology. He's saying that they stayed with Kirkman Bey and didn't leave with Eliel. He's using reverse psychology. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about. On this document right here, right? When he said they stayed, or he trying to say they stayed with Kirkman Bey. I mean, it behooves me that he's saying they stayed when we know that Prophet Noble Drew Ali appointed Eliel to be the head. But so, I mean, I don't know why he's using that kind of language, but anyway, let's take a look at this real quick. When we look at this here, this is a document from 1930 of the convention, Eliel. This is the conventions of 1930 and 31 of Eliel. And he's saying that people stayed with Kirkman Bey when, can he show that Kirkman Bey even had a convention in 1931, 1930? Because right here, all of the temples are with Eliel. I don't know where he getting this mess from, but all of the temples are with Eliel. I don't know. It behooves me that he's saying that Whitehead Bay and all that. Whitehead L, she left with Claude Green. I already said that. But I don't know what he's talking about. That he's saying all of these people stayed with Kirkman Bey. Where's Kirkman Bey? He's not on this. He's not here. The few temples that are missing is the ones that was with Kirkman Bey. But majority of the temples were with Emilio. What in the world was he talking about? Let's listen again.
Didn't get outraged and leave. Brother Kirkman Bey, temple number 5, Grand Sheik temple number 5. Brother McElrath Bey of
listen.
Moorish Manufacturing Company, he didn't leave.
He said Kirkman Bey, right? Let's look. Kirkman Bey is with, guess who we with? At this time. I don't know who put him up to this dumb stuff. Kirkman Bey, temple number 5, guess who he's with? He's with Emilio in 1930 and 31. What is he talking about? What is he talking about? And then Kirkman Bey ultimately goes down to Virginia. What is he talking about? Temple number 5 right here. What is he talking about? He's not making no sense. He's not making any sense. None whatsoever. He's not making no sense. He's saying that, let me let you, listen how he used the soft persuasion though. Listen how he used, and this is how, that's that old soft persuasion that the preacher do. You know what I mean? Listen to this. Listen to him. Watch this.
Who stayed? Didn't get outraged and leave. Brother Kirkman Bey, temple number 5, Grand Sheik temple number 5. Brother McElrath Bey of the Moorish Manufacturing
He reaching
Company, he
now.
didn't leave. The Cook Bey, Brother G. Cook Bey didn't leave. Temple number, Grand Sheik temple number 13.
Listen.
In Baltimore, right? Brother Talker Bey, Baltimore's temple didn't leave.
Listen, he's using tricknology. He's saying they didn't leave as if that they didn't leave with Emilio, like at Emilio left somewhere. Once again, let me show you. Remember he said the Baltimore temple? He just said that, right? Let's talk about it. He said the Cook Bey's Baltimore temple. He's saying like they didn't leave. Y'all understand what he's trying to imply? Do y'all understand what he's trying to imply? Let me see if I can stretch it. Do y'all understand what he's trying to imply? They didn't leave. They didn't leave as if they stayed with Kirkman Bey and didn't leave with Emilio, when in fact, Emilio carried on the organization. What the heck is he talking about? The Cook Beys out of Baltimore. The Cook Beys out of Baltimore. They didn't leave. Like he doing the bait and switch. He's saying that Kirkman Bey was the leader and they didn't leave and go with Emilio. No, Emilio was the head and they was with Emilio. There you go. Now, once Emilio passed form, they jumped ship. But that brother is flat out lying, and he claims to be a Grand Sheik. Flat out lying. How can he lie like that and look his people in the face and teach on Friday? He's flat out lying. Like no, a lie is a lie. He's flat out lying. And anybody who gave him information, set him up. He should be having him on the phone right now, got him looking like a fool. Sharif Anil Bey and anybody who gave him information and did not tutor him into history, now he looking like a fool. Listen, this is his words, and I'm not splicing his words. I just took the clip of what he said. Oh, my apology.
The people that did stay, you saying all of them are wrong? Brother Kirkman Bey, Sister Whitehead ill, who stayed, didn't get outraged and leave. Brother Kirkman Bey, temple number 5, Grand.
Somebody then told him that Kirkman Bey was the real leader. He really believed this. Listen to how passionate he is.
Brother McElrath Bey of the Moorish Manufacturing Company, he didn't leave. The Cook Beys, Brother G. Cook Bey didn't leave. Temple number, Grand Sheik temple number 13 in Baltimore, right? Brother Talker Bay, Baltimore's temple didn't
Yeah,
leave.
he said I can't call the baby said I can't call nobody no fool. That's being mean. So I got to calm down. You teach the babies right, boy, they gonna get you. That's why I tell people. That's why I tell people don't cuss on my show because my children be around and we don't get down like that. And not in my house. It's like we don't call nobody no names or nothing like that. So sometimes I jump out the window. You know what I'm saying? I apologize.
Sister Paul Jew Ali stayed with Brother Kirkman Bey, Brother C. Barker Bey, right? Who set up the Moorish National Home? As the you know, these are Moors that was close with the Prophet. Brother Pollard Bey, who set up Temple Number 10 in Newark. The Prophet sent him back to do that special task.
Let's look at Pollard Bey. Let's look at Pollard Bey. Let's see if Pollard Bey on the list. Because he just jumping out there. Gravit Bey. So Pollard Bey probably did go with him because now that Temple Number 10 is Gravit Bey. So who knows? The point that I'm making is, let me make one more assessment. Let me make one more assessment for y'all. A lot of times, lean, keep it down, bro. A lot of times, right? 1 second. So look, a lot of times, even my brother in Philadelphia claims that, you know, our temple goes back to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, when in fact, you know what I'm saying, no, your temple goes back to Emiliel and then Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And they don't even recognize Emiliel. So y'all see temple number 11? Does everybody see temple number 11? They love to say that, yeah, we original temple of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. No. 11 was an original temple of Prophet Noble Drew Ali leadership, and then under Emiliel leadership. Let's get this right now. Y'all keep denying Emiliel. Stop trying to wipe Emiliel out of history. You ain't gonna be able to do it while I'm here. You can't do it while I'm here. Because this convention was held by Emiliel, and there was a temple number 11 there. And T. Thompson L., the same person that you named that went with Kirkman Bey, is on the Emiliel roster. He's on Emiliel roster. So what are you talking about? Now the challenge becomes, I'm going to stop right there and move on to my next thing, because now the challenge becomes, I need him to produce to me one flyer where Kirkman Bey had a convention. That's what I need now. One flyer where I need one flyer where Kirkman Bey had a convention in 1929, 1930, 1931, 1932. I can show you Emiliel's. I can show you all the temples with them. That's all I need. Show me that. That's all I need. Can he show me that, family? Can he show me that? Huh? Can he show me that? Can he show me? I'm showing him. I can show him a flyer from 29. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali passed away in June 29. I can show him a flyer from September 29. I can show him a flyer from 30, 31, 32, 33. Show me one from Kirkman Bey. And now the question is, how do Kirkman Bey become the leader? We're going to talk about that in a minute. You follow what I'm saying? He can't show me that because they're lying. They're lying. They're flat out lying. Let me throw something else. Let me throw something else at y'all real quick. Let me throw something else at y'all real quick. Let me go to another one of his little bluffs. Listen to this.
Make sure I get the right one first. Yeah, this is a letter that there's actually a two-part letter here. And I want to. There's a lot of information on this. This is an affidavit of some type from Brother Emiliel, speaking about the history and his understanding about what the Prophet did and said. And this is where this quote will come up again later in the document called the Seat of Authority Explained, where Emiliel gives this account. I'm going to read it.
Bad. This is bad.
This says, send to all official business of the Home Office. All right, care of Brother Emily Ill, Supreme Grand Sheik. Right. Let's see something. This is 1930 something, 31, as I say. See what else other details are on here. So I'm not gonna read this bottom part. Is very interesting. Leave this here for a second.
This is his presentation.
But I don't want to get into any of that. I don't want to get into any of that. It's a very curious exchange that the past Grand Sheik of Temple Number 1 had with the Prophet about at the bottom of that letter. But here he says, let me read the top of it so I can give you the context.
Listen to this logic, fam.
Said, remember, this is merely Ill's words. There is no salary attached to the work, but if you can put up with my fare and if you are willing to sacrifice with me, I will see that your rent is paid. I will see that your other expenses are paid and that you have a little spending change. I agreed. Brother Emilio agreed. Returning from a trip around to the other temples one morning in front of the home office, at 3603 Indiana Avenue, the Prophet said to me, I, Emily Ill, Brother Emily Ill, you will study up now on all of my laws to prove yourself, because you will have to do what I am doing. You will go around to all the temples and report
I'm sorry. I said, does that sound like Kirkman Bey is being prepared to head and spearhead the movement, or Emily Ill?
back to me. So read up on my Quran, questionnaire, constitution. Try to be perfect in all subjects so you may be intelligent along the lines of procedure, right? So you may act intelligent along all lines of procedure. 20 minutes later in his office.
Why would Emily Ill have to act intelligent from all lines of procedure? Obviously, he's going to fill the Prophet's position. The Prophet is preparing it. But listen to this logic. Listen to this logic these people like to use. Listen to this. He's going to read this logic. This is his logic.
On the same occasion, he, Ali, the Prophet, said to me, quote, I find all of them want to sit in my seat, but at my absence, that is your station. And when you leave, look,
he reads exactly what the Prophet say, that is your station. Listen to this.
Lock the desk and put the key in your pocket. Everyone wants to sit there because there is where the money is. But I know who I want to sit there, and I know who I want to handle my money. And if you leave for any length of time, give the keys to Brother C. Kirkman Bey till you return. Again, my question becomes, if Brother Kirkman Bey wasn't the second in line with the Prophet, and holding a lot of importance with the Prophet, remember, travel to Cuba, travels around.
He's going to try to say, because the Prophet told Emily Ill to leave the keys with Kirkman Bey, that Kirkman Bey was the one in line after all the Prophet says about the preparation that he want Emily Ill to do. Y'all hear this logic? Y'all hear this logic? This guy's supposed to be some type of sheik. Listen to this logic. One more time. Listen to this logic. Unbelievable to me that people fall for this.
In line with the Prophet, and holding a lot of importance with the Prophet. Remember, traveled to Cuba, travels around the country, officiated the Prophet's funeral. Right? Brother Kirkman Bey officiated the Prophet's funeral.
That's a lie. I'm going to prove that. I'm going to prove that to be a lie tonight. I'm going to prove that be a lie tonight. That's been an old wives' tales too. I'm going to prove that a lie tonight. Hold on. Oh, that was it.
On the same occasion.
That was it. So, hold on one second. Yeah, I'm gonna prove that. I'm gonna prove that a lie tonight anyway. Let me get that out of there. I'm gonna prove that a lie tonight too. They be saying, oh, he officiated the Prophet's funeral. I'm gonna prove that a lie tonight too. You know what I'm saying? So this guy says that The prophet tells Eliel that if he leaves, give Kirkman Bey the keys, and he translate that is Kirkman Bey is supposed to be the leader after Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Although this is an elaborate system with a Supreme Grand Council, with a grand body, with a Grand Sheik and chairman, with an assistant, with a secretary, all of these positions, the way that you get into leadership is the one that the prophet is trying to groom hands you a key to a desk. Did y'all hear this logic? There is no other process. The process is you get the key to the desk. That would be just like that would be just like I go to a car shop. I take my car to the shop and I drop my car off and I say, listen, I'll be back. If you have to leave the keys with Bobby over there. And then when Bobby get the keys, Bobby say, oh, it's my car now. Come on. You know what I mean? Make that make sense. Because the prophet is clearly in this letter is grooming Eliel. He said, I want you in my seat. He's clearly grooming Eliel, but they said, because he said, if you leave the keys with Kirkman Bey, that's how you become the leader of $1 million religious corporation, of a religious society. That's how you become the leader. Did y'all hear this? This is what they teach their members. This is exactly what they teach their members. That Kirkman Bey, like, this is one of the ways he became a leader. They got two ways now. We're going to talk into the election in a minute. They got two ways they claim he became a leader with the key. That's right. That's right. He was out there with I got the keys. Yeah. Unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. But now let's talk about the second way that they claim he obtained power. The second way was when Kirkman Bey at the second annual convention, right? At the second annual convention, Kirkman Bey, they came and asked Eliel if he could be honored with credentials at the convention for the services he performed on the prophet body while he was in state. Now pay attention. They say he performed the prophet's funeral. In fact, the article says that he did some sort of ritual. He walked around the body and then did something and he said a few things. Nobody knew what he was saying. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody knew what he was saying. That's what the article said. The article doesn't say he officiated the funeral. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. But anyway, that's what they interpret it to say. He was on the program in the funeral and he did a ritual around the prophet's body. And I can prove that too. And they know it's true. It's an article. It's a well-known article where it says he walked around the body. He said a few things. Nobody knew what he was saying. And then, that was it. He didn't officiate no funeral. Hey, that's all old wives' tales. Old wives' tales. But I'm going to break it up in a minute. But now, so we asked Eliel if he can be honored with credentials. Now you have to see the lecture to order to understand the Grand Vizier and the Grand Advisor. But I don't have time to get into all that. But anyway, Eliel says, sure, I honor you with credentials for the services you performed while the prophet was in state. Now, here's the question. If Eliel is not the leader, why would you even use that to say that you're now the leader? Why would you even go to Emeliel? Does it make sense? If Emeliel is not the leader, why would Kirkman Bey go to Emeliel? Now, the whole thing is Kirkman Bey is trying to get in position like Claude Green was trying to get in position. You understand what I'm saying? Kirkman Bey was trying to bump Emeliel out the way. That's why he wanted that grand advisor position. And when you look at the grand vizier, that is a political position in the Turkey government. Therefore, because the Fez they was confused too back then. The Fez they relating that to Turkey, and the prophet mentioned Turkey sometime. They thinking that this has some type of power. And so he wanted the grand vizier. Ultimately, he used his advisor to slip that in. But that's a little bit babbling. Let's not go venture out too far. Let's stick to the facts. So Emeliel honored him at convention with a piece of paper or whatever for him performing at the prophet's burial, right? But again, if Emeliel is not the head, why would he be giving somebody credentials? Now, this is the letter. It says, I got two letters there. It says, we honored Brother Kirkman Bey with papers of the prophet's credentials to show him we appreciated his services. He performed over the prophet's body while he was in state. And they never pay attention to the services he performed over the prophet's body. Again, like I said, he did a little ritual over the prophet's body. And you know what I'm saying? But they were not given to take over the Moorish Science Temple. In other words, he honored him with, say for instance, you do something noteworthy and you want a certificate or something like that. So basically, when we talk about credentials, we're talking about a certificate of something. I mean, we don't know what it is. They still hiding it to this day. You know what I'm saying? But whatever it was sort of like a certificate, I would imagine, with some type of credentials. But it was an honorary one. In other words, he didn't go through the process. He didn't go through like, for instance, when you become an ADAP in the Moorish Science Temple of America, there's a process for that. When you become a Grand Sheik, there's a process. He didn't go through no process. He got honored with that. Like Dr. Bill Cosby. He's an honorary doctor. He just got honored with it. He didn't go through no real process. Anyway, but because he took it as if it gave him some sort of power. You follow me? Hold on one second. Just because he took it like he had some sort of power, and Emeliel states on the letter, but they were not given him to take charge of the Moorish Science Temple. Now Emeliel got to come back the next year and rescind it. And on September the 26th, 1930, he sends Kirkman Bey a letter. Islam, bro C. Kirkman Bey, this is to notify you that the above named organization, Moorish Science Temple of America, in convention, September 15th through 20, rescinded by voting out the mistake made by Second Annual Convention of 1929. And what that mean is they went around, they asked the grand body, can I get yay or nay? That's what he means. So all that say we voted out, yay. It ain't no like vote like you going and hiding into a booth or nothing like that. Voted out, yay. If one person say no, then it got to be a discussion. You know what I'm saying? Now, the power of Emeliel being the Grand Sheik and chairman, he actually could just strip him of it. He actually could just strip him. You know what I'm saying? But Emeliel didn't do that. He waited to the next year. And they voted it out. Basically, yay or nay. Now, y'all understand what I'm saying here. How is he in power? That's the second way they claim that he was in power, that Emeliel gave him some credentials. Now, listen to the finishing letter. It says, and in doing so, you hold your membership role as when our prophet was here. And we hope you will still cooperate with the organization under the 5 principles. Now, let's backtrack a minute. In the Moorish Science Temple of Americas, there's levels to this. You feel what I'm saying? You come in as a member. The second level is an ADAPT. The next level is a Sheik, minister. And then you may become an officer within, that has secretary, grand sheik, assistant grand sheik, chairman, whatever. You may become an officer, whatever. But there's level to it. Emiliel says that you hold your position membership role. He was merely a member during the time of the prophet. Now, how do you go from member to now you didn't hijack the whole organization? How'd that work? You go from member when the prophet was here. The prophet never took you through any type of advancement of elevation in the movement. But now the prophet is gone. You was a member with the prophet. Now all of a sudden you what? That don't even make sense. But I'm going to tell you, we're going to bring it all the way up. I'm going to try to get this done in the next 20 minutes. We're going to bring it all the way up from 29 to 23 because they still here today. This is why they mad at me. They still here today because we ain't going for it today. We ain't going for it today. We ain't going for it today. Let me get one more of his crazy little videos real quick. Let me get one more. Oh, this is the one that okay, yeah, we got to get this one.
So the Kirkman Bey was elected, and in the the way that it actually happened is, again, he was very popular for traveling.
Listen to me, family. Y'all know that every time I do a presentation, I have a PowerPoint with it. This guy's putting up fluff PowerPoints that doesn't even support his point. That's why I got it blurry like that. It doesn't even support his point. You know what I'm saying? Watch what I do with this. He says Kirkman Bey was elected, right?
In the the way that it actually happened is.
Hold on. Let me say this. Sharif, why you set this guy up, man? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And anybody else who provided him with information, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Because this don't look good. This don't look good. This looks terrible. What I'm about to show in a minute. This looks terrible. Unbelievable.
Again, he was very popular for traveling, for traveling to the Pan American Conference. And when he came back from the Pan American Conference, that was going around. The brother said something, and the whole military came to alert.
This guy's repeating the whole old wives' tale that this guy says something, and the whole military came alert. He ain't got no slide. He ain't got no proof. He just talking. Listen to this foolishness.
Pull it up down there. That's where Bustamante codes comes out. That's where nationality and all that was formulated. There was a whole lot that happened in Penn. We're going to learn later when everything happened, but Kirkman Bey was there. Then he traveled with him after, which means the prophet liked him. And
this is insane. He can't prove none of this stuff.
Brother Kirkman Bey was sharp, more. I don't know what information.
Look, he's pleading right now. Listen to him plead with no proof, no nothing.
You got talking about education of the prophet, even, and the education of Kirkman. Everything's funny when you don't really care. But the Kirkman Bey, all the testimony says he's sharp.
He says that Kirkman Bey was educated like the prophet. That's what they got on their website. I'm going to talk about that in 1 second because I got to touch that.
Dominating. He was an electrifying speaker. And you want to disrespect him? Because you can't get your way. You want some bam bam. Oh, I want to have bam bam. I want to, you want to set up your own temple and be the, whatever. That's crazy, more.
Just insane. Just insane. Anyway, Lies detected. Lies detected. Watch this. Watch this. This is a, not mind you, this is a grand sheik for probably over a few years now. This is supposed to be the head teacher. This is what we this is what this is the head teacher, right? Look at this. This is the stuff that they teach. It says on this second line, it says, after the prophet passed, it was this brother who had the wisdom, old wives' tales, understanding and patience and courage to carry on the prophet's work, believing in his own heart that he with determination to try. It was he who had served the test of loyalty and obediently. He proved his worth in the name of love. He was voted into office by Moors. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. He was voted into office by Moors and sanctioned by the government. Okay, we're going to talk about that in a minute. To be the best man for the job. His official title was Supreme Grand Advisor and Moderator. Mind you, that is not a title in the Moorish Science Temple of America. Never was, never will be. Anyway, it says he reestablished and established many factions of the movement as the prophet knew he would. Now they're thanking for the prophet. He was a great teacher and with tremendous insight. He graduated 2 colleges and said to have studied in the same school that the prophet had. Now, one of my research shows me that they say that he graduated from Howard University. When you go to Howard University and you go look up the alumni, it don't exist. It don't exist. He graduated from 2 colleges. Name the colleges, man. Cause we don't believe in Santa Claus no more. We don't believe in the Tooth Fairy no more. Name the colleges, man. Because we already know that he was infiltrating with Claude Green. Now, okay, let's just say that that's ambiguous. Okay, name the colleges, man. 2 colleges, you say. That's what you say. That's what you say. You say 2 colleges, right? That's crazy that you would say something like that. That's crazy that you would say something like that. That he graduated 2 colleges. You feel me? That's what you say. But let me tell you something. You're out your mind to even say something like that. Let me show you why. On the 1940 census, it reads that Brother Kirkman Bey didn't even complete school. What are you talking about? 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 We still making up stuff. We still making up stuff. He told the people this. He told the people this. Nobody wrote this in for him. He told the people this. He told the people no. So what colleges you talking about? What college you like? This is a body bag, man. This light work. This battle rap. Come on, man. Where? What college he go to? In fact, y'all also say that he went to the same schools as Prophet Noble Drew Ali. What school did Prophet Noble Drew Ali go to? What school? Name the school that Prophet Noble Drew Ali went to. I can't name it, and I consider myself an exceptional researcher. Oh, it's all fluff, man. It's all fluff. And this stuff has been made up in order to draw people in and take them off the path that the prophet put us on. And what I mean by that, people that's on this path, they don't know. They don't know the destiny of the movement. The prophets say the real Moors know the destiny of the movement, and they follow the prophet to a destiny that is not uncertain nor unknown. And you can tell the people that don't know because they're not doing and going in the path. And when you disagree, the first thing they say, this guy supposed to be a grand sheik. This guy said, I'm going to ask my elders, can you and I have a boxing match? And we'll do it live. And we'll do it live. But he couldn't get the same elders to agree to allow me to debate him. Oh, all of the Moors don't want to be involved in that. No. Stop trying to speak for all the Moors. You know what I'm saying? I would gladly take an MMA match. I'm not sitting up there boxing. Both of us are half 100, sitting up there dancing around no ring. I'm gonna try. I want to get it done and get it done fast. Don't invite me to no boxing and none of that. They got MMA now. That's where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to learn how to grapple and everything. We're gonna get it in and get it in fast and get it over with. Ain't nobody standing around, dancing around. Man, nah, I'm a half 100. You know what I mean? In good shape, but I ain't got time for all that. You know what I mean? That's right. You have to learn how to grapple, you have to do some jiu-jitsu, you have to do a little bit of everything. That's right. You have to do a little bit of everything. We sit up there dancing and jumping around. I ain't got no time for that. I want to be in and out. Done. Ball game. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got time to play with that. But ain't nobody here to fight you. Ain't nobody want to fight you. What make you think I want to fight you? This is information. How do you get to the point where you think I want to fight you? I want to fight you? I said I want to fight you? What kind of goofy stuff is that at a half 100? What kind of goofy stuff is that? Yeah, I'm going to ask my elders, can we get a boxing match? What? Ask them to debate me and prove me wrong and shut me up. You know the best thing that anybody could do? You know the best thing? You know the best thing that anybody could do? The best thing that anybody can do, and press 7 if you agree. Wouldn't it be the best thing that they do screen shares and prove me wrong and just shut me up once and for all? Wouldn't that be better? Even if you could whoop me, I might do a say you whoop me and I do a show tomorrow. I still tell the truth. Wouldn't it be better that you debate me respectfully as a brother and you show where I'm wrong and just shut me down? But we know that ain't possible. So then you do just like everybody else do. But you're supposed to be conscious. You go straight to the vibration that I want to box you. Nah. When you want to bring harm to me, we're going to go to the most extreme acceptable fighting method that we can pass by nobody going to jail. If we're gonna regulate some fisticuff, we doing MMA. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's right. And somebody gonna throw in the towel, and I ain't got no coach. I'm going in there with me and Allah. That's it. I ain't got no coach. Allah ain't throwing no towel. But anyway, I don't want to fight you, brother. I don't want to fight you. And then it surprised me that you would even say something like that. So look at you, emotional. And the prophet teaches us, put your passions and desires within the bounds of righteousness. Look at you, emotional. Over some truth. Over some truth. Come on, man. Accept the truth and move on. Or just ignore me. Just ignore me. Because the lessons that I teach is not for you. The lesson that I teach is not for those who follow the doctrine you follow. The lesson I teach is for those who are waking up daily, so they don't get caught up in the cycle of nothingness that's been going on for the last 100 years. Whether I produce much, whether I produce little, maybe I can spark that charge in them to take it to the next level and produce way more than what has been produced under these shabby, lazy leaders calling themselves righteous and divine people. Maybe I can spark somebody like I'm sparked and take it to the next level from all this bluffing. Then he got the nerve to call me a grifter. He even got so emotional that he called me a grifter. When I would love to put his sacrifices next to mine. See the difference between me and them? I don't display mine on the internet. I don't display all of the things that I do on the internet for a pat on the back. But in a case like this, I don't mind. I don't mind. Somebody block Jamaz Hillard. Let me block him. I got you, Jamaz. Nobody talking. We doing history class tonight. You got to go. Anyway, I got him. With that being said, hold on. Let me get my bro up in here, man. Where's my bro, Hannibal? There you go. Yeah. Hannibal got him. That's right. Anyway, With that being, let me close some of these windows out. I got too many windows going on. Hold on one second. I got drag in my computer. I got a lot of windows open. I see that. Good goodness. Let me close some of these windows. I'm tripping. Good night. Yeah, I'm tripping. All right. So yeah. So all right. I got some more. Go. So I want to get another one of his. Oh yeah. We're talking about the election. Let's talk about that real quick. So he says he was elected. So now this is the second phase, because this was the phase. Okay, the keys was one, is how he got in power. The honorary certificate is how he got in power. And then the last one that they claim is that, as we heard, is that he was elected, right? When in their own meeting in 1934, after Emilio passed away, and I'm going to break this story down to you. It says, this is their minutes from their meeting. This is not me. It says, Brother T. Rhodes L. made the following statement. We elevated Brother C. Kirkman Bey, Supreme Grand Advisor, behind closed doors. Stop right there. That's called a coup d'etat. It says we elevated Brother C. Kirkman Bey, Supreme Grand Advisor, behind closed doors. And through a mistake, the prophet's laws have not been carried out. Now, let me break this down to you. So what happened was, and this can be proven, at the convention of 1929, everything I'm saying, I got receipts, but I ain't got time to pull them all out right now. They lied. I got them ready, but let me just tell it. They're having the convention. Emilio is the chairman of the convention. As the convention going on, about 5 people walk into the convention. It's those that had jumped ship and went with Kirkman Bey. They walk up to the secretary and hand the letter and say, can you read the letter to the grand body? In the letter, it says, can we have a special meeting now? Can you call a special meeting now? Emilio ultimately would say no. They would walk out. Now, in that special meeting, I can imagine that they was going to say that we were over in Temple number 9 and we selected Kirkman Bey. But hold up, wait a minute. As we said earlier, that's not how the system of Moorish Science Temple of America work. You don't go into some closet. Now, this guy said, let me see if he said it here. This guy said governors elected.
Brother Kirkman Bey was elected. And in the, the way that it actually happened is, again, he was very popular for traveling.
That's this one.
He's illogical. But the majority decided they wanted to elect. They had the right to elect. When the prophet, the founder, left, and this is part of the backstory, I'm not gonna go too far into.
Watch this. I'm gonna bust this one up.
After the funeral, they said that was our man. Brother Emilio was upset, understandably upset, when the prophet.
He's repeating old wives' tales. These are all old wives' tales.
Passed. And when we're gonna read about this, and he wasn't able to. He was supposed to officiate the funeral when he wasn't.
He didn't officiate the funeral, brother. Emilio actually did officiate the funeral. Kirkman Bey did a ritual over the prophet's body. Stop messing up history.
Brother Kirkman Bey had to step up. Imagine that scenario. Short notice and cranked it over the fence. He made the prophet look good. Prophet was lied in state for 5 days. I think he.
Man, this guy's just making up stuff. Anyway, let's talk about this. And I'm gonna knock that out the park in a second. Hopefully, I don't forget. I'm gonna knock that out the park in a second. But anyway, with that being said, let's talk about this. They said they selected Kirkman Bey in private. They said they selected Kirkman Bey in private, right? Now, let's look at this letter from Emilio. Emilio says this. Some of those who are with him as against the prophet, talking about with Kirkman Bey. And I say against the prophet because when you fail to recognize the man that the prophet appointed, he's speaking of himself, Emilio, and give him your cooperation and support, you have virtually turned down the prophet for someone else. And those I know of according to their ways and actions and works. Bro T.W. Osley, Milwaukee, Bro F. Nelson Bay of Detroit, Bro C. Childs Bay of Cleveland, Sis M. Cliff Bay of Indianapolis, Sis Dove L. of Chicago. That is the coup d'etat. These are the people that went into a dark room and says, let's make sure we can tell them that we had a vote. He said these are governors. These wasn't no governors. These wasn't no governors. They making this. He said the governors elected them. No. They Emilio tell the story how it is. He said they don't write me when I write them because I won't accept Kirkman Bey in the place of Drew Ali. And I never do. Well, the time is proving all true according to divine plans. He said, children, you won't be but a few saved because you are. And so when this guy says that all the people went with Kirkman Bey, hey, ultimately Emilio passed the Kirkman Bey. We're going to talk about that and I'm going to wrap it up with that. Let me leave that right there. I'm going to wrap that up with that. Emilio passed and then Kirkman Bey does something to make it seem like he's the actual movement. And it's been that way ever since. Watch this. These don't write me. Oh, he said, and Drew Ali, and I never do. Well, the time is proven true according to divine plans. He said, children, there won't be but a few saved because you are not going to do what I tell you. Your way you want and your way you're going to have. And they've been having it for 80 years. But your way leads downward, children. This is why the Moors, when people say why the Moors haven't done nothing, here you go. Because it has been infiltrated and the philosophy that came with the infiltration exists in this very hour. And this is why I do what I do. I go all the way above and beyond to give wisdom to people to move in a better space, because what you see here is what you see not producing much. It was infiltrated. And your way you're going to have, but your way leads down, children. So you better do like I tell you. If you do like I tell you, there's a chance for you. But if not, there is nothing for you but death. They govern their actions by the majority, which is all right if the majority is right. On the other hand, if one is right, that one becomes the majority. That's Islam. But they want to run the Moorish Science Temple of America according to the principles of Christianity and politics. And that is, you may ever be so wrong. But if the majority is with you, you are all right anyway. But so in Islam, nothing but right will do. Well, that is why they fight me, simply because I will not accept Kirkman Bey as head of the organization. If I would do that, I would be outright with them. But Drew Ali said to me on his sick bed before he passed, you do what I tell you. Never mind what they say. I told you that Prophet Noble Drew Ali knew that these people was trying to overthrow and take over the Moorish Science Temple of America, remix it and sell it back to the people for some aimless, going nowhere demonstration, where this is supposed to be an organization that metamorphosed into a full-blown nation. They put puppet leaders in, and it's been going on ever since. Check this out. No matter what they say, I have given you my law, the Quran, and Constitution, and I expect you to enforce my law and do what I say. Never mind what they say or do. They can do nothing but die. In other words, you can take it how you want it. As Jesus would say, my ways leads to life, the other way leads to death. And that's just the bottom line. So we look at this and we see how Gamaliel and the prophet relationship is. They don't even acknowledge Gamaliel. Now, last but not least, I'm going to close with this because I got so much. I could go on and on with this, but it's not even worth it at this point. I can go on and on. Now the question would be, how did, and I did this in the lecture. The question, let me show this real quick. I'm sorry. Let me show this real quick. This right here shows that Kirkman Bey did not officiate the funeral. He did a ritual. Let me pull that up too. Hold on. Let me pull that up. Now, a lot of this stuff, I could just let fly, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. Yeah, let me just pull it up real quick. If I can. All right. So look. Right here, it talks about the prophet's funeral right here. And it says, hundreds of Chicagoans attended the funeral last week of Noble Drew Ali, founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Service was held at Pantheon Temple. Prophet was buried at Bear Oak Cemetery. Attorney Aaron Payne wearing the white gloves. Oh, no, this ain't the article, but it's an article that everybody's familiar with, and it tells you the ritual that Kirkman Bey did. He walked around the casket a couple times and but you can see that Aaron Payne, he got the white gloves on, so he's playing a role. Then you look at Aaron Payne right here. Aaron Payne, attorney Aaron Payne, assistant city prosecutor. He also was a member of the temple, business manager for the Moorish Science Temple of America. He took Claude Green's spot and said to be the candidate to succeed Noble Drew Ali. Delivered the principal oration. So I don't know where they got that Kirkman Bey officiated it when it only said that he did a ritual. It only say he did a ritual. It doesn't even make sense. I don't even understand this nonsense, man. I understand how they come up with this stuff. They say he walked around the casket. He said a few things that nobody could understand, and that was that. That's the real deal. They know I'm telling the truth, but they say he officiated it. I don't know where they came up. They be making up stories all the time. Them stories, they be passing them stories down where people couldn't fill in the blanks. But you can't find that stuff nowhere. You can find multiple people speaking at the prophet funeral. You know what I mean? I be discovering stuff all the time, like Aaron Payne. He did it. What's the name? Did a ritual? Man, come on, man. It was just like any other funeral, man. I don't know why they come up with that. This is why I say debate me. I ain't gonna bring out all my receipts now. But let me get this last. Let me get this last one. So now I want to do two things. Let me do this. Let's do two things, and I'm gonna get out of here. Two things, fam. Y'all gonna want to see this. So anything that he said, I can debunk. So I'm not gonna waste any more time on bro. This is just looking bad. Press 7 if you're familiar with the Moorish Science Temple of America story and how bad this looks. This looks pretty bad. This looks pretty bad. That first of all, family, the objective was, has been, and continue to be to use the Moorish Science Temple of America as a fraternal organization cloaked as the Moorish Science Temple of America. That is Kirkman Bey. Now, Prophet Noble Drew Ali never had those intentions. You follow me? So at the end of the day, when you see the Moorish Science Temple of America under these leaderships, one thing that you're going to notice different from the Prophet is, one thing you're going to notice almost immediately different from the Prophet, you're going to see that they changed the whole, I ain't going to say the whole thing. What they did was they filtered in their own little thing. They started wearing capes. You know what I'm saying? As you can see here, they started wearing capes, moving masonically, moving like Shriners. You know, in fact, right here, Kirkman Bey tells the people that they can't even speak without his permission. You know what I'm saying? So the Moors, the movement is founded for the uplifting of fallen humanity. But Kirkman Bey, he says, no minister should go out in the field to teach Islam without having received permission from the Supreme Grand Advisor and Moderator or from the Grand Governor of his or her state. Now, I can't make rules for anybody's organization, but the Moorish Science Temple of America, the one that the Prophet had, the one that the Prophet created, the one that the Prophet founded, them Moors was on the corner day and night. They was getting locked up for teaching so hard. The Prophet didn't regulate how those sheiks was teaching. They was getting locked up, and you can find crazy articles where Moors was getting locked up for standing on ladders teaching. Moors were getting locked up, getting their flags taken, getting their charters taken. Moors was the original Hebrew Israelites, standing on the corner, hooping and hollering. Real talk. But they regulated this joint down and silenced everybody. So you want to know? After Email passed, everything just fell apart. And that's the fact of the matter. And that gave Kirkman Bey the ability to step in. Period. That gave Kirkman Bey the ability to step in after the death of Email. Everybody just scattered. And that's how he was able to step in. But now, in stepping in, let me before I go, this is the audacity of Kirkman Bey, right? This is the audacity of Kirkman Bey. Listen to this real quick. Straight infiltration, right? Watch this. He says in 1935 article of his newspaper, right? In this issue, we are publishing a copy of our authority so that the public may know what this organization stands for. It is true that the faker merely ill. How disrespectful is that? That the faker merely ill, then belonging to the Prophet's Council, when the authority was received in the state of Illinois, really recognized Noble Drew Ali as one and only prophet. Since Prophet Noble Drew Ali departed, he reinstates himself as the reincarnated prophet. And that is a flat out lie. Emily Ill has never used that term. Never. But he published this in the paper. Kirkman Bey published this in the paper after the death of Emil. He goes on to say, we have such fools like him in Chicago. We have such fools like him in Chicago who also, mind you, this is 1935. Emil passed form the year before. This is how he's talking. This is the one that's infiltrated it. We have such fools like him in Chicago who also claims to be resurrected prophet. He got to be talking about Givensville. Now, there are babies born every day, but prophets are not born for competition. We ask everyone to use their 5 senses when you observe this writing. You feel what I'm saying? Now, on the left-hand side of what I just read is what Kirkman Bey says is his authority. Now, watch this. His authority. Let me see something. Hold up. and I'm gonna wrap it up with this. He writes, State of Illinois, Cook County as number 10105905, filed for the record, corporation, 1921, August 1st, 252, and recorded in the book page 1, Noble Drew Ali recorder, Salome's Jake Nowoski, Moorish Science Temple of America, blank, held at Chicago, blank, in the county of Cook in the state of Illinois. And then you go all the way down, it says, on the 20th day of July, AD 1928, for the purpose, the following person was appointed sheiks. And then it's blank. That's what he publishes. Now let's read what the prophet published. Moorish Science Temple of America do solemnly swear at the meeting that the following members was of Noble Drew Ali, Miliel, Ball Bay, Lovett Bay. Those was the ones that was appointed sheiks. The following person was appointed sheiks. According to rules and usage, he blanked that out in 1935. Y'all see that? He blanks it out, removes Millie name off the official document, as it's not even official because he just put it in a newspaper. And usually when you publish something in a newspaper at that time, it becomes illegal. And so it becomes legal until somebody refute it, right? So he published this in a newspaper to now say that he's in charge in 1935. You feel me? Now the question is this, before I get out of here. The question is this. The Moorish Science Temple of America Incorporated. Now you're gonna have to get the lecture if you want to get this. You can email me to talkabay@gmail.com, or you can even cash at me, but don't forget to make sure you leave your email so I can send you all the slides. Let me show you something. Real quick. Because I got a question. I want y'all to get this question real quick. Let me show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all something. I can email you all the slides, so I'm gonna need your email. Let me show you. This is a huge lecture. It's very informative. Super informative. You know what I'm saying? Super informative on the history of the Moorish Science Temple of America. But real quick, let me show you real quick if I can find it. Is this it? Oh, no, I gotta get it. All right, here it go. It's super informative. And let me show you. For the Cash App, you're gonna get over. What's that? Y'all can see all them slides rolling. Oh, you can't see it? Oh, hold on. All right. See these slides here? If you look to the right side, look at the number of these slides right here. These are all the slides and all the research. It talks about the authority. Let me see something. It talks about the authority where they claim to be in the power. It talks about Kirkman Bey being an informant. We got that. We shows how he worked with the police. I don't have enough time in today to do it. We talk about how he came and developed the Mufti Corps, how it's associated with the basically I'm gonna leave that one. You can check it. Like we like in these FBI reports, you can see Kirkman Bey intermingling with the feds, taking people to jail. Absolutely. You can see him testifying in court. This is the reconstructed 125 slide 125. It shows you how they reconstructed the organization. 130, it shows you how they took the Shriner. Kirkman Bey brought the Shriner understanding with him and was putting people in the capes like they was Shriners. You know, that's a Shriner's outfit. It's I mean, this is a big lecture, man. It's 4.5 hours long. You know what I'm saying? And it's just $20. I mean, but you get all of these slides right here. And you get the full thing right here. I mean, if this is a history lesson, if you're interested in more science, this is something that you got to have. You know what I'm saying? If you're interested in the history, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it talks about how Kirkman Bey came up with his own equivalent of a Circle 7 called the Red Book. We talk about that. What else we talk about? Okay, we also talk about they had on the land that they have acquired. That's another story, but they was bootlegging liquor on the land right here. I mean, Leavenworth, Kansas, March 14th, Judge Walter I. Biddle in the city court here today found guilty the operator of the Moorish National Home, who identified himself as Brother Mufti, charged as Herman Bile L. He was convicted of selling malt beverages without a license. In other words, they had a distillery. You know what I mean? They was going all the way in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They was going all the way in. They had a distillery out that joint. They were selling alcohol. These, mind you, these are supposed to be Muslims, right? Yeah. Under Kirkman Bey, this is what they're doing. Even up into this present day. Hold up. Even up into this present day, under their leadership, they have members with a restaurant called Shut Your Mouth in Virginia. They got all the pork chops that you want to eat. They got your bacon. They got your eggs. They got your pig feet. They got everything you want to eat there. This is their leadership right here. That they're going to be mad at me, and this is not petty, but this just shows you the level of this just shows you the level of detachment. You know what I mean? They got the pig feet, they got the pork chops, they got everything. This shows you the level, and this is in 2023. This is not back in the day. This is, you can go there now and get a pig feet dinner for $10.95, 2 pig feet for $13.95. That's right. You can go and get some pork chops. That's right. This is today. This is not yesterday. This is right now. You can go right up there to Shut Your Mouth and get you some pig feet. Right now. So you can't tell me nothing about Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because let me tell you something. I'm the Grand Sheik of our administration, and ain't nobody selling no pig feet. You ain't selling no weed. You ain't selling no liquor. You ain't selling no pig feet. And I ain't even trying to see you smoke no cigarettes, but I ain't that crazy. You know what I mean? But come on, man. This is right now. So, with that being said, I got one last question that I need to pose to everybody that I was about to pose, and then I'm out of here. If in fact, Emeliel was appointed by the prophet, multiple court dates, right? Multiple court dates that Kirkman Bey tried to take Emeliel to court. He tried to take Emeliel to court and prove that he was the head of the Moorish Science of America. Every time he went, he lost the court date until Emeliel passed form. But now the question would be, why would he be so bold to take him to court, knowing that he wasn't the head? Why was he so bold? Now, the question connected to that is, how did Kirkman Bey and those Moors get recognized at the Secretary of State to legitimize the grift? In order to get recognized at the Secretary of State, you got to have that certificate of corporation. When the Prophet Noble Drew Ali took the movement out the Secretary of State anyway, so that doesn't even, that doesn't hold no weight. But one of their claim to fame is that we have the filing at the Secretary of State, and we are Moorish Science of America Incorporated. The question would be, how did they get that filing to transfer that? How did they get it? That's the big question. That's the question that nobody has never asked. How did they get it? Because the prophet didn't give it to him. Emeliel surely didn't give it to him. So how did they get it? Let's see if somebody can think fast on their toes. The prophet didn't give it to him. Emeliel definitely didn't give it to him. How do they get the Secretary of State the piece of paper so they can transfer it in the name of Kirkman Bey? The corporate paper. How did that work? I'm going to show you in a minute. Let me show you in a minute. This is so many files over here. I got it. Let me spread this out. Let me spread this out. I'm going to show you in 1 second. Excuse me. I'm going to show you in 1 second. I just got to find, it's 100 slides, so I got to find this one for y'all. You know what I mean? Okay, there it is. Is that it? I think that's it. Is that it? So, is that it? Is that it? I'm going through 100 slides. All right, so let me tell you. Once Emily Ill won the court cases, Emily Ill filed an injunction. And in this injunction, one of the things that he wanted returned was the corporate filing, the charters, buttons, badges, grips, and a few other things. The only one that could have access to charters or have access to the corporate filing, but it would only make sense that the business manager would have access to that. That would only make sense. He didn't get it from, he needed that. And then I can show you what he did after that. There's a history behind that too, where he filed it in Indiana. So there's only one person that could have given him the corporate filing. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali didn't give it to him. Emily Ill didn't give it to him. The only one that could have gave it to him would be Claude Green when they was pulling the scheme. That's why he kept taking Emily Ill to court, because he thought he would be able to show this piece of paper and say, we're the Moorish Science, but the judge wasn't going for it. The moment that Emily Ill passed, he went and filed that paper and he wasn't challenged. And that's how they are recognized at the Secretary of State today. Now, let me tell you something. Ain't nothing holy and divine about that. Ain't no holy and divine about that. Now, until they can give a better explanation, how did they get the filing? They don't have no fighting. They don't have nothing. They have no more. They have nothing in the gun. They shooting blanks, because I'm telling you, the common sense says that Emily Ill didn't give it to you. The Prophet didn't give it to you. The only way you could have got it, was some unholy, unlawfully way. That's it. Explain that. Explain on our divine constitution and bylaw, the head of the organization is the Grand Sheik and chairman, but your head is the Grand Advisor or Supreme Grand Advisor. Explain that. Explain that. Explain how you get that filing. Explain it. Explain it. Explain how not even you or no one else has a charter with the Prophet's signature on it hanging on a wall. Explain it. If the Prophet passed you the movement, explain it. If you picked it up from Emily, explain it. No one has it, because we know what happened with them charters. In fact, you sent crews out to confiscate them. And we got those minutes too. And most likely they hiding somewhere or destroyed by now. But there is not a temple that, this is why I tell people, when people talk about where's the Moorish Science of America, it depends what you're looking for. It depends what you're looking for. So let me say this. We of the Moorish Science Temple of America, affectionately known as the Noble Temple, in our administration, what we strive to do is do exactly what the Prophet Noble Drew Ali did. From research, we look at how the movement is supposed to be. From research, we look at how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. From research, we move on those principles. That's it. Even what I'm doing right now, is consistent with Jesus did. It's consistent with Muhammad did. It's consistent with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali did. We call you out on your falsehood. Stop living a lie. Because basically that's what all prophets do. And anybody who follows the prophet, anybody that follows Jesus, anybody who follows Muhammad, they should do their best to imitate and demonstrate those leaders. And if you're not imitating or demonstrating those leaders, you're just wasting your time. Don't take one part of the leader and talk about, we need to learn to love instead of hate. Yes, we do. But you love the truth more than anything else in the world. You love the truth more than anything else in the world because Jesus said it best. The truth will set you free. And if you want to be free, you better acknowledge the complete truth with no filter, uncut. It's going to hurt mama feelings. It's going to hurt daddy feelings. It's going to hurt cousin feelings. It's going to hurt your best buddy feelings. But when you acknowledge truth uncut, most people don't even care to walk the path that Prophet Noble Drew Ali laid. Most people want to pay dress up and have clubism. Most people don't want to build no nation. You know what it takes to build a nation? It's easier just to say Islam. It's easier just to say peace, brother. It's easy just to say, oh, that's a beautiful turban, sister. It's easier to do that. But to get your hands dirty, to get some calluses on your hand, to build it from the mud, oh, no, that's a little bit different. To snatch some political power, to snatch some economic power, that's a little bit different. That organization that them brothers are under, they can't even obtain political power because they are 501c3. They can't even obtain political power. They can't even lobby. They can't even lobby. And the Prophet Noble Drew Ali was lobbying up a storm. He was one of the ones that put the first brother into Congress after the Reconstruction. The Moors did that. They can't even lobby. They can't even obtain political power. They can only do what P. Diddy said for his nonprofit. Vote or die. Y'all remember that? He didn't say who to vote for. They can only vote or die. That's it. Vote or die. It's like the people that come around in your neighborhood. Vote Republican, vote Democrat. You can say that, but you can't say who to vote for because guess what? They'll snatch your 501c3. So with that being said, family, I'm going to get out of here. I hope the brother stand down because this is not a good look. And it's not a good look. It's not a good look because, brother, you cannot defeat the truth with a lie. Just stand down. There's no way that you can defeat the truth with a lie. It's impossible. It would never happen. It would never happen. And again, you know, I'm a truth seeker. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. I'm a truth seeker. And I don't care if the truth make me uncomfortable. It doesn't matter to me if the truth make me uncomfortable. You know, I'm forced to change friends, I guess, because most people won't be able to handle if I discover something, especially in the Moorish circle. If I discover something and I bring it to people's attention and they're not able to move with it, then hey, I got to move on. And I tell everybody in our temple, our sheiks, our adapts, our members, that if you are not able to adjust with truth changing, then this might not be the place for you. In other words, truth changes. Truth is one, but demand that truth today could be different tomorrow, because right now what we see could be a piece that may develop or unfold into something that looks different than what we see today. And you got to be able to change with it. You know what I mean? You got to be able to adjust, if you will. You got to be able to adjust to it. So today, you know what I mean? We might see something one way, but suppose, for example, today, just like our ADAPT charm that matches my shirt. You know what I'm saying? Most people got ADAPT charms that don't look like this. The reason why my ADAPT charm look like this is because this resembles the Prophet's logo. I mean, I can't have it no other way. And that's just a charm. But what I'm saying, once I discovered exactly what it looked like, I couldn't just grab no alphabet 7 and throw it up on there. I couldn't do that. There's no way I could do that. And I got a picture where I can clearly see the Prophet's charm. I just can't grab no any old 7 and throw it up in there. No, I need the joint look like the Prophet. That's right. I can't be wearing no blue charm, no gold charm when I know the Prophet's colors was red and white. I can't be wearing that. Mimicking the Masons. I can't do that. No, I can't do all that. I'm busy. I'm busy on that day. There's no way I can do that. I mean, there's no way to do I ain't gonna be able to do it. If I wanted to be with this demonstration, you know what I'm saying? Nah. Let me see that. So look. There you go. What button did the Prophet use? But when you go on down, we already know what it is. Even like when you look at that charm right there, the red charm that I got from Belial, I had to discover, and Belial made me an ADAPT. But I discovered that the Prophet charm didn't look like that. I have to adjust. I have to adjust. You feel me? I have to adjust. Period. Point blank. And so when you look at those what is that? Blue and when you look at those blue and this stuff, that's all you're looking at right there. It's just coded. It's all codified. It's all codified. It's all codified right there for you. Looking at the Blue Lodge, it's all codified right there for you. Feel what I'm saying? It's all codified. Moving incandescently. It's all codified right there for you. You know what I'm saying? They got another plan. It's all codified, man. I don't wear none of that. Our Moors don't wear none of that. We only wear what the Prophet wear. Don't wear none of that. You know what I mean? We only wear what the Prophet wear. With that being said, family, I'm up out of here. I appreciate y'all. My brother, Cyrus El, just go. Brother, I don't have no hate in my heart. Let me be clear. I don't have no hate in my heart. I have love for truth. And I'm doing this not to ruffle your feathers, not to ruffle anybody's feathers. I'm doing this so the new generation can come in and learn properly. And so we can hopefully build something that is sustainable. That's why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to ruffle anybody's feathers or try to get somebody members. You know what I'm saying? Most people members right now has already took the ill pill that make them go to sleep even deeper than they was when they was supposedly in the Negro, black, and colored in the ignorant land. So I really don't want nobody members to come over and bleed over into our productivity. Nah, I don't want none of that. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. But however, if I can wake up a new generation, you know what I'm saying? What I mean by a new generation, I don't care if you're 40, 50, 60, and one day a person reach out to me and say, man, how do I join the temple? And they never been affected by this poison, then we can get something done. We can get something done. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm so proud of our Moors and the Moorish Science Temple of America. I think about our Grand Sheik, assistant Grand Sheik, who took it upon himself, reaching out, and we connected, and he was able to orchestrate us being able to produce our own flag, so we don't have to buy nothing from somebody else, and our own Moorish flag. You know what I mean? We got our own fezzes. We've been able to produce some amazing stuff. You know what I mean? We've been able to produce some amazing stuff. We've been able to. We don't play no games. Let me see something. I thought I had one in my pocket. I wanted to show our buttons. I mean, we've been able to produce some quality, amazing things, right? And so I wouldn't want somebody coming over asking, what y'all can do? What y'all can do? Nah, it's what we gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like on Moorish World TV last night, I was like, man, we can all get together and we can invest and we can produce our own documentary and everybody can eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think as a collective, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, a lot of times, man, people just comfortable. But again, I'm proud of our members and our sheiks, our adapts, our ministers, because they get it from the mud. They get it from the mud. We got two pennies to rub together, and some kind of way we make it happen. They get it from the mud. And this is another proud moment before I go. Our sheiks, they sharp. They sharp. They real sharp. But let me tell you something. You ain't gonna never see them on the internet wilding. You ain't gonna never see them on the internet. You won't even know who they are. You won't know who they are. They'll be on the internet teaching, but you won't even know who they are. You won't even know who they are. Whether it's our national assistant Grand Sheik, Mazouk El, giving you the whole history from the Moors, from the foundation, coming from northwest, southwestern shores of Africa, and from the Levant all the way to the Americas, from the common sense of our assistant Robinson L, assistant Grand Sheik of the Virtual Temple, take you all around in the mind with basic common sense lessons that's surface but deep at the same time. Very disciplined. Very disciplined. Speak basic English, man. And let me say this, Brother Kirkman Bey, Sister Robin. I mean, we just got a good thing going on, you know, in the participation. And I just say this. This is the proud moment, right? All of them have been taught by me as it relates to Moorish science without any filter. They don't have none of that garbage, none of that fake nonsense, misinformation. Our assistant Grand Sheik asked me, and this is how open we are. Our assistant Grand Sheik Robinson L asked me, I know he probably watching. Our assistant Grand Sheik Robinson L asked me, let me see if I can pull it up. He asked me yesterday. Now, was it today? It was today. I'm gonna go over it in Sunday class. He asked me, he said, Grand Sheik, what's up? He said, what's up with the Prophet's Sheik bag? He said, hold on one second. And let me pull it up real quick before I get out of here. He said, Grand Sheik, you see that bag on side the Prophet? He said, what's up with the Prophet Sheik bag? Is that the man purse? You know what I'm saying? But we are so comfortable with each other, and we are so comfortable with truth that we can throw some things out there and we can build from that point. You know what I'm saying? We don't try to act like we are all polished up and like the brother was up there, you know, and we call it like it is. And it was a joke, being facetious, but it was a good joke because we see people now carrying bags and clutches and da-da-da. So what is that bag that the Prophet Noble Drew Ali wearing? And would it be associated to what brothers in the hip-hop field are doing today? Maybe not. But there might be a spirit or energy behind that demonstration. For instance, when the rappers started getting record deals, everybody would get a chain. No limit. They got the truck on there. Rockefeller chain. Y'all remember that? Prophet Noble Drew Ali was the first to do that, as far as I can remember. That when you became an adapt, you got an adapt charm. So maybe it's a spirit in it. Maybe it's an energy in it. You follow me? Nobody did this before Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Not that I know of. Not over here in the Americas. When you got one of these, you got one of these. This is my adapt papers. When you got one of these, you got one of these. You just couldn't order that. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, now we see the rappers doing it. Maybe that is a spirit and an energy that predates these rappers and connects us to our forefathers, in particular, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And we don't even know it. You follow me? And we don't even know it. And so I'm here to teach it. So peace and love, family. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Javon Muhammad. Thanks, Sister Yasmin, Sister Kenyetta, Mr. Hotel, Brother Hannibal, and everybody who watched this. And let me say this to the members of Moorish Science of America Incorporated. I have no beef with you. I have no I have nothing against you. I'm only seeking the truth, and the truth as I discover it, I will present it. I will allow anybody to debunk what I present, and we don't have to do it on my platform. We can do it on a neutral platform. That's right. But it got to be respectful. It got to be brotherly. You can't throw innuendos like the brother just did. Like I was trying to be up underneath for somebody and all that. You can't do all of that, because when I went to the debate with Sharif invited me, and I am very grateful that he invited me. Do we still see things alike today? Absolutely not. But I'm very grateful. That was one of the best experiences that I've ever had. When I took it out, when I went out my way and just drove up to New York to come to your temple, bro, I came because I thought you was my brother. I felt like you was my brother on another level. Absolutely. When I drove from Baltimore to attend a holy day at your temple, I did it as a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do that as your group and my group with your group, because at the end of the day, just because I speak it, y'all don't speak it. Because if we didn't feel we didn't have differences, then we will be under the same administration. So y'all in y'all little secret little hideouts talking about Belial, he this, he that. Belial, he this and he that. Y'all in y'all little secret spaces talking about this group ain't real, because you wouldn't be where you at if you didn't think it was real. And for you think yourself is real, you have to think that the alternative is not. So just because I speak it and you don't, that doesn't mean that you are not in the same space, but on the other side of the spectrum. Because again, you believe that where you're at is the ultimate place of truth. And if that's the case, that means the alternative is not. So just because I teach it, y'all be whispering it in your little corners. Just like you said, and you trying to create your own temple. There you go. That's what y'all whisper in your corner. Tahaka created his own temple. No, we look at the prophet model and we duplicate it. There ain't no Tahaka temple. We want to do exactly what the prophet did. That's it. That's all. No filter. But y'all be talking and y'all can see. I say it right. I say it before you. I say it before the people. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go in a corner and whisper. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. You know what I mean? With that being said, somebody said we got boots on the ground with Dennis Wise. We don't see you. Where you need to see me at? Did you call me? You know how much Dante Jones, you know how much things that go on in Baltimore City just because you on boots of the ground with safe streets. You know how many things that's going on in Baltimore City at this hour, brother. I don't know why when with all due respect, brother, I don't know why when one think that they're doing one thing that everybody got to do that same thing. Life don't work like that, brother. Because you're doing one thing, that doesn't mean that everybody got to do that thing. It's enough work for everybody to do. You follow what I'm saying? That's just like me saying, okay, I'm up there teaching in juvenile hall. I don't see you there. Come on. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I'm up there teaching. I'm up there trying to teach those. I'm trying to get people from juvenile hall to a reentry program. I don't see you there. Man, we got to be more intelligent, man. That doesn't make sense, man. That doesn't make sense, man. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense, man. I'm about to get out of here, man. That just blows me away that people are in competition for uplifting and saying that they out there on the like, man, do you? And if you want to find out what I'm doing, tahakabey@gmail.com. Hit me up. If you want me to be involved, hit me up. You want me to be involved? tahakabey@gmail.com. Period. But coming on a podcast, sideways talking, come on, man. Just hit me up. I probably would be one of the greatest resources. In reality, I probably would be one of the greatest resources. Bunch of promotion. You know what I mean? People watch these videos. Fundraising. See, we create more static than when we need to. Situations like that, like we should be seeing how can we build this thing? But when we're talking about philosophy, we talk about doctrine, yeah, we can disagree with that, but I don't see you up. Like, man, come on, man. Anyway, I'm up out of here, family. Peace and love. Shout out to all y'all that stuck around with me. It was a good one. I just hope he leave it alone. If he don't, I probably won't even respond because there is nothing this brother can stand on. Not with this. You know what I'm saying? So peace and love, family. Peace and love.